County Event Center this Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
Spring into big winnings at Inn of the Mountain Gods and Casino Apache. Join us Saturdays and Sundays in April to play the Spring Winnings Kiosk Game. Apache Spirit Club members could win up to $30 free Spirit Play or a point multiplier of up to 12 times the points. The Spring Winnings Kiosk Game, Saturdays and Sundays in April at Inn of the Mountain Gods and Casino Apache. Must be 21 years or older. See innofthemountaingods.com or see Apache Spirit Club booth for details.
Knowledge, integrity, and trustworthiness are just part of what makes Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating the choice for your next HVAC job. With 15 plus years in business, Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating trains its techs with the requirements and standards of all the major ductless companies, servicing residential and commercial as well as industrial units for the patch. Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating is fully licensed, bonded, and insured in the state of New Mexico. They can even offer new technology like inverter-driven heat pump systems to upgrade old systems, and financing is available. Call 575-631-1999 to schedule your appointment today. That's 631-1999 for Roach's Air Conditioning and Heating.
The Dexter Livestock Commission is accepting all classes of beef cows, bulls, calves, and yearlings. Cattle received Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with sales Tuesday at 11 a.m. Plus, Dexter Livestock Commission has no fee charges for cattle received on the day of the sale. Dexter Livestock Commission charges 3% commission, or $21 per head for load lots of 40,000 or more. Located next to DBS Commodities, 274 East Darby Road, between Roswell and Dexter. 575-624-COWS. 624-COWS. DexterLivestockCommission.com.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning. The southeast plains of New Mexico. Its temperatures in the 285 corridor go to 86 degrees in Roswell. Slight chance for a shower. In Carlsbad, Artesia, temperature at 87. Lovington and Hobbs, a 20% chance for a shower. High temperature of 82 degrees on this Tuesday. By Wednesday, cooler, high of 75 in Lovington. Carlsbad temperatures near 81. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet. Online at carlsbadchevrolet.com. Text line at 877-396-W105. Brought to you by Amigo Machinery, your Kubota dealer. Online at amigo-machinery.com. Question of the day brought to you by Lovington Auto Supply, your Napa dealer. And YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook video feed brought to you by Desert Sand Water Well. Online at desertsandsnm.com.
Is that the phone?
Telephone!
Yeah, that was the phone.
You guys sound like you're ready for a show.
The phone rang?
You're not supposed to have your phone on. It's always ringing.
Today is National Telephone Day.
And I'm Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of the telephone.
See, that's the problem. You're always on that stupid phone.
You're always on the phone.
Hey, happy National Telephone Day.
Call me, call me, call me.
Call me. Bye.
Showtime.
It's showtime. For your Tuesday, April the 25th, B and the Breakfast Club National Phone Day. Good morning, Tom A.
Good morning, Russ. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. We have a few problems going on this morning. None of them anything tragic. Nobody's been in any new accidents, but Will woke up this morning with no internet. Apparently part of Hobbs, some areas, his service or something. Anyway, there is internet amiss. So he will be joining us. I expect him to just pop in, but he's waiting on ability to do so. So we'll get your April the 25th started. It's your Tuesday's foggy out there, and reports of fog and a little bit of traffic things already going off. Text lines brought to you this morning, 877-396-9105, 877-396-W105. And also, we've got the question of the day and the thought of the day. Your question of the day this morning brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, your real auto parts location, not an auto parts convenience store. It's not where you go to get M&Ms and a Coke. It's where the mechanics go. It's where the other parts shops are texting to and communicating with on their computer when they're looking for your part, saying they have it in the back. They mean they've got it at Napa. They'll go get it and charge you some extra. So go straight to the parts store, Fort Lovington and Lee County, Napa Auto Parts, 217 West Avenue D. In Lovington, it's where the pros go, and I thank them for bringing you your question of the day. Who's the best movie villain?
Ooh, good question. I like it.
You like that?
Yeah.
Text us 877-396-9105, 877-396-W105. See, one of my favorites, I'm not so sure whether you call him a villain necessarily. He actually comes out to be the savior of many people and kind of a leader in his in the way he does it, but quite villainous at the start of the deal. But Swearingen, the bar owner from Deadwood, great villain that you end up rooting for in the end. It's one, so I like those. So there you go. That's your question of the day. Who's the best villain in cinema? Of course, I didn't, I didn't rule out what you call a villain either.
Those guys, well, they turn into their heels, and sometimes they turn into good guys, right?
Yeah, they usually do that.
Terminator,
right?
A great example.
There you go. They want you smiling as you leave. So that's your question of the day. I've got the thought of the day coming up, but first, if you're out right now buying feed, getting ready for your stock, remember, shop local with the pros in Roswell, Livestock Farm and Farm Supply. Farm and ranch supplies, everything you need for lawn and gardening and clothing, too. Look down at those boots and see whether you really should be wearing them today. And they've got all your big brands from Brighton and Bedslew, Carhartt and Wrangler. And it's Roswell Farm and Livestock Supply, just a little Western store with a whole lot of style, and it's where your expert Purina dealers are. Thank them for being sponsors of B and the Breakfast Club. Your thought of the day this morning, and the thoughts from Wakefield Oil, and that's another thing you can think about this morning. Wakefield's got 30 years of serving Southeast New Mexico with quality products, excellent service, they're dependable, and Wakefield's different. They're not a little company, and it's not an abandoned building that was here only when the boom was here. No, they're going to be here serving Southeast New Mexico with the parts and areas of West Texas, delivering gas and diesel both on and off-road, along with DEF, oil, and services that can't be beat. You can follow them on Facebook, WakefieldOil.com. The thought of the day, okay, and this works for you, Tom. Women marry men hoping they will change. Men marry women hoping that they will not. So each are inevitably disappointed.
Huh.
You're not going to change a man.
I'm not going to do that anymore.
Not going to change a man, and women. Women change.
3 years old, Russ Black.
Well, where you're at right now, any woman interested in you knows you're not going to change.
Ain't going to change.
They're just hoping you'll change your underwear more than once a week.
Right. Maybe they'll pick it up. But don't do that. Hey, by the way, already getting a lot of texts on the question
there
of the
you
day.
Go.
And your favorite villain in a movie, Bruce Dern in the Cowboys. Remember that from the mid-'70s? With John Wayne.
What a good one. Yeah. As far as lawful, somebody that you wanted to see die, at the end of the movie, you was rooting for that kid to cut the reins. Cut it, cut it, cut it. Oh, yeah, great villain.
And how about my not-so-great villains of the communists, Marky and Parky, says another texter. All right, Todd in Carlsbad pointing out that Jennifer Aniston, Horrible Bosses 2 was good.
I haven't gotten to see that yet.
I haven't seen it yet either. And how about Nick from the Pats? Wayne Newton in the adventure of Ford Fairlane, Rock and Roll Detective. Says I've never seen that one.
Ford Fairlane, Rock and Roll Detective.
Wayne Newton. I didn't know he made movies anymore.
Wayne Newton played a comical villain in that one. That was pretty good. J.R. Ewing is in there. Jenny from Forrest Gump. See, this is another person like me. I hated that by the end of that. When she said she was dying, I was like, good.
That she was dying?
Have you ever seen Forrest? Come on, you've seen Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
You didn't hate her by the end of the movie?
No, I didn't. I wanted to get with her. And how about Anthony Hopkins' Silence of the Lamb?
That's about as threatening as it could be. I ate his liver
we'll
with a fine Chianti and some fava beans.
How about Tommy Reese, who can dodge a trash dumpster?
The first one that came to mind for me is the same one as Todd. The Joker from Batman. But for me, it's not just, the comical Batman. It was played by the great Spanish actor, blah, 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 way back in the original. I can't remember his name.
Oh, right. Maldonado.
Something like that. Anyway, I couldn't. I'm watching Jason. There's a moth in the studio. It's driving him crazy. The guy, the jock at our sister station, he's in here with his shoe chasing a moth around the studio. So people on cam can see it in the background. So anyway, there you go. Who's the best villain? Alan Richter from Quigley Down Under. If you haven't seen Quigley Down Under, have you?
That was Selleck, isn't it?
Tom Selleck, yeah. Cesar Romero. That was the guy's name. I didn't like the Cesar Romero Batman, but Heath Ledger's performance in Batman, when you watch that, he's so ultimately threatening. Let's give him a hand. There you go. You got the moth.
Kill the moth.
The brave hunter. He did it. He did it. We got it. All right. Cesar Romero, though.
Crazy guy.
Such a great actor. And that, thank you, Nick, for putting that in. And so there you go. Right. 877-396-9105. Plus, the lines are open. It's telephone day. Yeah. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, a huge fallout in the news business yesterday. Did you see all that?
Oh, yes. We're going to get to that. I've got a lot of things to talk about this morning. Things that happened on the news. Recap some of the stuff that you were following.
All right. First of all, you remember Alexis Avila was convicted of attempted murder and also abuse of a child when she dumped her baby into a dumpster back in January of last year. Convicted, but she's going to get a break in sentencing, Russ, already because she was under house arrest for just over 487 days. She's going to get credit for that. And so at least knocking a year off her sentence, which could be anywhere from 12 to 18 years in prison.
They give her the time served.
Yeah.
She's still up for sentencing between 12 and 8 years.
May 1st is when she comes back to get sentenced.
Well,
so
she won't get that many years.
Yeah. Let's say she gets 12. I'm thinking she's going to get 12. That'll knock off a year, 11 years maybe.
I bet she gets about 8. Time served is 7, and good behavior and this and that. She's out before the baby's in elementary. So
6 years?
Less than that.
Yeah, wow.
So we'll keep you up to date on that story. And also, that Don Lemon was fired.
That's what I was going to say.
That Tucker Carlson is leaving.
And the NBC Universal CEO also got canned.
Yes. And along with the advertising executive that put together the whole Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light thing, she's gone. And
well, let's talk about Carson for a second. Now, he's been at Fox News for a while.
For a long time.
The right-wing conservative talking head. But the trial that just finished up where Fox lost the trial, the defamation trial, and have to pay $787 million. And that was a whole complicated mess to begin with, but he, in the testimony that he gave, kind of made the network look bad.
Yeah.
And then he also spoke against the network as well.
Yeah, he spoke against the network, and then in his testimony, and then also he was one of the people that actually said the bad words that, about the company. I'm afraid now to mention their name because we dang sure couldn't stand their lawyers, so I don't even want to state their name. But anyway, yes, he was involved heavily in that. So we've got more on that coming up. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders trolled Bud Light. She's got a new set of koozies, and it's called Real Women instead of Fake Women. Real Women of Genius. So I've got a little clip I'll play a little bit later on. Plus, Aaron Rodgers is going to get a new jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And they solved a 17-year-old rape conviction. Remember way back in the news, the Fairway rapists? They used some tremendous DNA technology to nail the golfer who was committing those. That was a long stretch. It was looking for a golfer for a guy that was attacking women on the golf course. So, and then more Joe Biden. If you haven't been watching the news this morning, I guess the biggest news story, Joe Biden announces his bid for re-election. Was there any doubt this was going to happen?
No, but the poll said, please, Joe, don't run, and please, Donald Trump, don't run either.
Well, the polls right now are looking both ways. So those are some of the top news stories, and we're just talking about what I'm going to try to get to in the first hour. Plus, we'll be playing the sounder coming up, get you registered for the W105 cash blowout, and oil prices coming up. You've got them ready. I want to see if natural gas prices went down again. Gas prices this morning brought to you by Spinnaker's Oilfield Cementers, where they've got great oil field jobs. If you supervise frac crews, you could be a cementing supervisor in their SSIT program. If you've run frac or blender equipment, you could be a cementing truck operator in that training program. You're going to have a tremendous oil field job, some of the highest salary base in the industry. You're going to get plenty of hours, and they've got a benefit program so strong, even housing is provided. Spinnaker's Oilfield Cementers. You must have a Class A CDL, and they are a drug-free and equal opportunity employer. If you qualify, text Oilfield to 63566, 63566, or go to greatoilfieldjobs.com. Spinnaker's Oilfield Cementers are bringing you great oil field jobs and your oil prices on Being the Breakfast Club.
At 6:23, West Texas Intermediate checks in at $77.99. That's 9 cents down from 6 a.m. For Brent Crude, $81.98. That's down 91 cents from 6 a.m. And the price of natural gas checks in at $2.17. That's 4 cents down from 6 a.m. Russ?
So, fuel prices globally hovering.
Yeah.
Waiting to pounce on us as summer arrives. So.
I'll be surprised, since Biden made his announcement earlier this morning, how the market's going to react to him. Again, announcing he's going to run for election. Now, in his speech this morning, Russ, he says, we are now hoping to keep the souls of America.
Yes, he made the statement that he was,
man.
His goal was to capture the soul of America.
And then he went on to say, we need to protect our rights because every day we're losing rights. I'm thinking, where is this clown getting this? If anything, the conservatives are losing their rights.
Well, of course. But that's not the slant. I mean, they're trying to blame Donald Trump for the border. So
since day one.
Since day one. Let's go to the phone. It is Telephone Day. The line's 877-396-9105, 877-396-W105. You're on Being the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, sir. On the Tucker Carlson, sir.
Yeah.
He was not a right winger. He was just a conservative. He was just a conservative person.
Try to turn down your radio in the back, Frank.
I sure did.
Thanks, sir.
He was a conservative. Yes, sir. He was a conservative. He was not a right winger. You see, when you see things that are happening against Americans, against children, against good values, good morals, when you see them clear, they try to muddy the water for you. And he would always clear the water for us people to listen, to see what's going on. You have the massive migrations, you have the jabs, you have the castration of children, you have the stolen elections, you have the January 6th that he, investigated deep. He dug deep into it. Oh, you can't say that anymore. So Fox, CNN, ABC, everybody is a one world order now. They say, hey, let's temper down the temperature. Let's bring the temperature down, and we'll fire Lemon, and you'll fire Tucker, and you'll fire Bongino, and we'll just, temper it down a little bit. And then you got AOC. I don't call her a left winger. Shit, she has her mind. She has her people that tell her what to do, what to say. Well, that's why she came on television on CNN Sunday talking about, we need to get rid of Tucker Carlson. They need to get rid of these, that, and the other. So she was told, hey, we're going to fire him, so you need to be the point of communication from now on to temper the temperature down. But when you follow the one world order or the globalist agenda, they're coming for your children. They're going to change our nuclear power plants. Our coal plants, our industry in the oil and gas. They're going to hammer it hard. And Biden is into it. Obama's into it. Hillary, she's upset. She never got her way. She had to sell a book of what happened, full of lies. Her lawyers went into court, and they admitted, yeah, it was all lies. We were involved in the Russia collusion.
So you're trying to say that, believe it or not, they're all in it together? That maybe there's some evidence that all the news medias are kind of on the same page and kind of string the public along one way or the other, and that if you look at both political parties, it's kind of like smelling two glasses of bad milk, trying to see which one's closer to yogurt. Is that what you're saying, Frank?
Well, yeah, and now you have Robert Kennedy Jr. running for president, and him and Biden, are going to run for president. The best person is Robert Kennedy. On the Republican Party, we still have Trump, but on the Democrat, Robert Kennedy seems to be a good candidate. I'm not saying, but he's a conservative. But let's see if they give him the opportunity.
As far as being better than the candidate that the Democrats are going to be running and the current president, yeah, Robert Kennedy is a better candidate. Robert Kennedy's 12-year-old grandchild is a better candidate. So, right. Frank, thanks for being the Breakfast Club this morning, bud. Thanks for being on. And, we don't know who's going to be running from our side, but I think Donald Trump gives them a target to shoot at, gives them more to run on than a newer candidate.
But why? Now the core base is not saying not to support Trump, but some of the other Republicans are saying, look, let's get somebody new.
Well, and the thing about it is we're talking about politics and the election this morning. This November coming up is not even November 2024. This is April 2023.
Got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go. But the main news story is Dan Bongino goes, Tucker Carlson goes, and then on the other side, we knew that Don Lemon was destined for the stars when he made the remark about women being over the hill.
He also made other remarks to other female colleagues there at CNN. So he has a history of doing this way back to 2008, Russ. It's not something new. They just get fed up with him, and they let him go. And really, what did he really bring to the news? Really, tell me, what did he really bring?
Don Lemon?
Yeah. No, call him Don Lemon.
He checked 2 blocks. That's all I'm going to say. He checked 2 blocks. Your text lines are open, 877-396-9105. What you got?
And how's my Ninja Bee? Asked one of the texters.
Well, that's where I was going. Thank you for leading in that question. Yeah. B made another video.
I hadn't seen it.
It is posted on Facebook, and they did drain the fluid off of his lungs, and that went as planned.
Okay.
And then they've removed the Foley catheter, and they've done the other things that relieve the other things that was supposed to happen. So the pressure is off of a lot of area. He's feeling better. Right, and the danger, the bleeding kidney, the fluid on the lungs, those things are getting much better. But he also has more marked discomfort. But he has 6 broken ribs. He has perimeter cracks and facial cracks in the bones in his spine and his shoulder where he landed, and was in a motorcycle wreck. He's recovering and got we there by his side.
Right.
And considering it's midnight, he's I'm watching the phone. I'm waiting for the phone to ring or for Skype. The Skype noise, maybe I should keep this up just in case the Skype noise comes in. I'll do that. So, but, and if you just joined us, Will Rooney isn't with us this morning because he woke up without internet.
Man.
So, I mean, he just called. You could hear depression in his voice. He's up early. He's fed. He's raring to go. He's like, I can't get online. So
that sucks.
Text lines open 877-396-W105.
Question of the day: who would you consider a villain in the movies?
Best villain in movies.
And Biden, excuse me. Well, I'll read this one to go to the others. Biden gets to spank the orange turd again. Says, "Oh, feel liberal." I don't get that guy. How about Cliff Barnes on Dallas? Remember him, Russ?
You know, I'm going to admit I never watched Dallas.
Yeah,
I know who it is from doing news stories and stuff and DJing, but never watched an episode.
Mm-hmm. Another one says, best villain, Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Remember that movie?
Went from caring, loving dad to...
I think they filmed that in Colorado Springs. I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
And
someplace snowy.
No, they didn't lose the settlement. They settled. Yeah, they did. I'm sorry. They settled that settlement with Fox, but it could have been worse. And get well soon, Kevin, and you guys have a wonderful day, says the texter.
And John from Liverton says, question of the day, I like Professor Moriarty. I believe that's X-Men, which is something that I've seen. I could be wrong, but I think that's the guy that can bend metal. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
I think the last superpower movie I saw, Russ, was Superman with Christopher Reeves.
That far back. I think I was in high school when Christopher Reeves did his Superman.
I know they don't have all the
Jim Carrey's stuff. Riddler. That Jim Carrey actually pulled that bad guy off pretty good.
Which movie was that?
That was one of the Batmans. I think that was the weird one with Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. I don't know. It's one where they was really having a good time. Professor Moriarty is from Sherlock Holmes. Like I said, I don't watch that genre of films. I don't watch a lot of adventure that, like I said, my villain's a guy from a Western. Okay. The best answer so far, I think, is Dern from the Cowboys. Oh, what a guy you wanted to hate, Denzel Washington in Training Day, another great movie. And yes, Denzel Washington, you was rooting for the guys to shoot him in the street.
Boy, did they
ever. I watched a pretty good movie last night. I hadn't watched Bad Boys in a long time. And
Will Smith?
Yeah, and coming up, one of my streaming services had issued Bad Boys 3 or Bad Boys for Life, and I hadn't seen it. So before I seen it, I wanted, if you hadn't seen the previous movies before you see the final one, you've got to go watch those. So that was it's taking me 3 or 4 days to do it, but I watched those, and then I watched the villains from Bad Boys, the one in the second one that cut up the Russian and put his body inside the tortilla bin. That was a pretty mean guy. I can't think of his name.
How about, and I know this kind of sounds kind
of... sounds kind of like, what, did you swallow a frog?
I know that this sounds kind of crazy. But how about Rocky? Think about it. He made underdogs look bad.
Yeah, but all the villains that were in the Rocky movies, you respect for what they did. It's hard to do an athlete movie and really show them to be a villain unless they're cheating or something. Number 3, Clubber Lang.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. But you knew who was paper mache. You knew Rocky was going to kick his butt from about 10 minutes into
I just would have liked it if they would have just done one Rocky. And it got ridiculous after that.
Oh, no. I like all of them. Don't deprive me of my Rockies, man. You got to have material. You got to have a lot of stuff.
How about this one?
I was trying to segue into something there. So, by the way, this morning, guys, Chance Materials reminding you that every project begins with solid foundation. Chance Materials is a provider for quality, affordable, ready-mix concrete. No matter what project, Chance Materials has the products, unmatched customer service, all at the lowest prices possible. Chance Materials, 363-3240, serving Pecos Valley. They've got plants in Carlsbad, Roswell, ready-mix concrete, because when the project matters, materials matter the most. Chance Materials, thank them for supporting Being Breakfast Club. I'm sorry I interrupted your thought.
No, so remember this guy right here, and he was a great villain, Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef in anything.
Yeah.
Whatever Lee Van Cleef was in, he was the villain. Oh, yeah, from the good, the bad, the ugly, Fistful of Dollars, all those.
Spaghetti Western.
That's a good one. Ed Norton from Fight Club. That's a very, very good one. John Kreese from Cobra Kai. Karate Kid. You watched the Karate Kid. There you go. Of course, Denzel Washington. He can be a villain or he can be a good guy. He can do whatever according to what movie that he's in. So you can just basically say Denzel Washington. Yeah. And
my favorite villain, says David and Artesia, is John Holmes.
No. No? They're taking advantage of your naivete. Leave that alone. Go to the next one. I promise you. I'll explain it later.
Explain it to me later. But we'll go from there then.
Thanks, guys.
How about Hedley Lamar from Blazing Saddles? I don't know that guy.
You've never seen Blazing Saddles and Hedley Lamar?
I don't know who he is.
It was actually, what's his name from the Carol Burnett show? Not Tim Harvey Korman. It was a comedy villain. Very good. Good guess. I like that one. We're already behind. We got to take out some trash. That's going to be coming up. Also, our national anthem a little bit later on. We've got Earl Pitts coming up to tell you what pissed him off today. And the weather, a little bit of fog starting to lift a bit from what I can tell outside, but we could have some patchy fog up until around 9 a.m. this morning. It's going to be cloudy for most of the day. Highs across the plain are going to top out in the lower to mid 80s today, and only about a 10% chances of showers tomorrow. And then we start to warm up a bit for the next couple of days. So it's going to be nice. Text lines open 877-396-9105.
All right, so let me put my glasses back. I got a story for my glasses, by the way.
Okay. Go ahead.
And Jeff from the Patch is saying, can't wait for B to get back. He said, the morning show is worse than listening to paint dry.
Yep.
Says Jeff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So will I. Danny Trio, Blood In, Blood Out. I haven't got to see that one yet. But Gary Oldman's Dracula. There you go. That's one to make. I was just thinking about Gary Oldman's Dracula and got those little shivers. And
Never seen that movie.
Never seen it? You should tune in. So now one of the other stories that you touched on here just a moment ago, did you they're wanting to say when we get back from the break, they're wanting to call it insurrection all the time. One of the big headlines this morning, riot police descend on Montana Capitol as left-wing protesters shut down the state's procedures. That's another one of the stories breaking this morning. A lot of news coming up ahead. Quick look at your weather, and Earl Pitts tell you what pits him off. We'll be right back with more on Being the Breakfast Club.
MTD Radio News, I'm Jim Miller. Well, Christopher Adam Jensen Tanner, owner and president of Roswell Escrow Services, set to plead guilty tomorrow to wire fraud and engaging in monetary transaction and property derived from specified unlawful activity. Officials say Jensen Tanner, accused of using his position at the company to fraudulently direct funds for his personal benefit. Anyone who believes they are a victim of the fraud are encouraged to contact the FBI tip line. Officials say any victims who wish to attend the plea hearing can reach out to the victim specialist, in the case Jackie Gutierrez. Rocketry teams from around Mexico gathering this week annually to test their science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills by sending rockets into the sky. There are two categories teams compete in. In the first, one of the Hobbs High School teams are building for the challenge is to send a rocket 1 mile into the air carrying a 1-pound payload. The other challenge is for students typically during their second year in the Systems Go program to build a rocket that'll break the speed of sound. State representatives from Eddy and Lee counties remain determined to find a permanent fix for lost tax revenue after Governor Grisham vetoed a measure that would have provided a temporary fix. So says State Rep. Catherine Brown, who briefed the Eddy County Board of County Commissioners April 15 on happenings during the 60-day New Mexico legislative session that began in January, concluding in March. Governor vetoed a bill which would have provided $25 million to the city of Carlsbad for lost gross receipt tax funds to pay for certain municipal services. That's what's happening. I'm Jim Miller, MTD Radio News.
You know what makes me sick? You know what makes me so bad I won't have my old lady scratch my back with a garden weasel? We was chuckling the other day how people come up with fancy butt frou-frou names for people to make them feel better, you know? You know how the garbage man became a sanitation engineer? Like that. Only they got a bunch of new feel-good lunacy out there now. I see this commercial is for people with gardens. They don't call it gardening no more. Now they call it backyard farming. I may have told you about that. But you know who don't call it backyard farming, don't you? Farmers. Let me put it like this. If your idea of a tractor includes a grass catcher, then you ain't no farmer. If your idea of irrigation includes a water hose, you ain't no farmer. My old lady said, she's seen another one, a commercial for dog food. Turns out dog owners are now called pet parents. Yeah, pet parents. Let me give you people a clue. If you didn't give birth in a box in a closet, you ain't no pet parent. If you don't bite your kid on the back of the neck and carry him around in your teeth, you ain't no pet parent. But it does make you feel good, doesn't it? So we went down to Duck Inn last night, and we come up with more feel-good kumbaya names for people. Here's a good one. You ever seen that TV show where them weirdo people hoard everything they own? I mean, you squeeze into their house and you're neck deep in garbage and dead animals and whatnot. Them people used to be called hoarders. We got a new name for them. Crap magnets. And remember them little pencil neck geeks in school? The 98-pound weaklings with the Coke bottle glasses and the personalities of hamsters? We used to call them dweebs and dorks. You know what we call them now? Internet millionaires. Wake up, America! Of course, course, don't forget me. I've been called all sorts of things. From a clueless hillbilly to a brain-dead redneck. But I prefer my new name. A real American. And I am Earl Pitts, American Pizza.
This Lovington Wildcat Sports Update being brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services. Do what you say you can do. Stone Oilfield Services in Lovington.
Stone Oilfield Service backs the Lady Cats as they work to build winning teams and seasons while chasing state championships. Stone Oilfield Service with vacuum, winch, and kill trucks, hydrovacs and hot oilers, frac and acid tanks, gas busters, environmental shields, acidizing, and more. Do what you say you can do. Stone Oilfield Service will get the job done right every time. Serving southeastern New Mexico and West Texas, located at 725 Tatum Highway, or contact 575-396-1840.
The Lovington Lady Wildcats softball team will either be the district champions or runner-ups, depending on what happens when they play in Artesia this week for the final district doubleheader between the two. If Lovington wins the double tip, there will be a playoff with the winner crowned district champion. Even so, the Lady Wildcats must bring a playoff mentality for the upcoming state playoffs. The Lady Wildcats got on a roll and made it to the state championship game last year against Gallup. Coach Steve McCraw.
They got a little taste of it last year, and I tell them. But last year, you know, we realized how really tough it was to get to a state championship game. And then I hope we're going to learn from that this year and go in there with the expectation of, you know, it's not going to be easy, so we're going to have to really buckle down and get after it and try to get back to it. So we can change the outcome this time.
And between the end of the regular season and the playoffs,
get everybody healthy. We've had a few little injuries the last couple of games. You know, work on some fine-tune some things.
This Lovington Sports Update has been brought to you by Stone Oilfield Services. Go Wildcats!
It's time to renew New Mexico. If you have Medicaid or SNAP, you must renew to keep your benefits. If you have moved, update your contact information at yes.state.nm.us or call 1-800-283-4465. You will be mailed a turquoise envelope when it is time to renew. Your Medicaid and SNAP benefits are very important. To learn more, go to renew.hsd.nm.gov and renew New Mexico.
When you have to file a home insurance claim, the last thing you want to worry about is your premium going up. That's why Farmers has claim forgiveness. If you've been claim-free with Farmers for 5 years, your premium won't go up just because of a claim. It's one of the many Farmers policy perks. Call Herschel Rustin Hayes at 575-396-0513 to learn more or get a quote.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Ew. Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, no matter how many times I've washed it.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products. Save on Downy Rinse and Refresh at Target.
ezCater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
Backing you up.
So I ordered Mexican for my team at work.
With vegetarian options for Jerry.
Then I'm in a meeting and I remember Jerry's vegan.
Love the cheese.
So I text ezCater and they reply, no prob, we got this.
Gonna fix it for ya.
Sometimes I get vegetarian and vegan confused. Kind of like Austria and Australia.
Geography is not just strong suit.
Dietary needs? ezCater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 on ezcater.com and know.
We got your back.
B and the Breakfast Club in the morning, W105.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet, and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105.
Yeah, let's just get this over with.
Be in the Breakfast Club for your Tuesday. Foggy outside, drive safe. We've got a few reports of fog in low-lying areas, especially around Loco Hill earlier this morning. And also, quick update on what's going on. We're waiting for Will Rooney to have the capabilities of joining through his internet connection. And the update on B is B's better. Hopefully, he may be joining us by phone a bit later on, but we don't know the schedule of his procedure.
You know he wants to.
Yes, of course he
If
does.
he could get out of that bed, he would.
There's a video on his Facebook page. If you want the latest update, you can actually see him in person, make sure that he's all right. Wasn't standing yet. But.
Yeah. Now, this whole thing, he said in his yesterday on the show when he was live, that this whole thing has changed his outlook on life, having to go through something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know we all go through something in our lives. You were a veteran. Was there?
That was so many. Quit even referring to that, dude.
Yeah.
That was such a short time of my life, so long ago. But
you had experiences like that.
Near-death experiences.
Yeah.
Experienced more of those in race cars than I did anything to do with the service. But yes, those will change your life.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Also, to make you change your underwear, the race car ones. But never mind. Go ahead.
But I remember, when I had my surgery when I was 6, there was do you remember Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she came by and visited me. She was in a hospital, touring the hospital there in Odessa at the time.
The actress?
Yeah. Ruth, what was her name? Ruth?
I don't know.
Anyway, she came by the hospital and greeted me, gave me a picture of her character on the Beverly Hillbillies. And it kind of, when I was 6, I was young, I didn't know nothing. But you know what I wanted to do after that? What? I wanted to be a thespian.
Okay, I'll have a comment. I'll just go look up thespian
and
we'll go from there.
Thespian, if you look it up.
I want to see how you're using it.
You want to be an actor. It's an actor.
An actor, a thespian.
A thespian. That's the way they say it in London.
Okay.
And so here we are.
I'm sorry that word eluded me for a moment.
57 years later, I'm a thespian.
You're
on the radio.
Maybe you're stretching the term. By the way, don't stretch your fuel. If you're running low on fuel, 128 between Jow and Carlsbad, check out the brand new Twin Wells fuel station. 2.75 miles south of 128 Buck Jackson Road. Twin Wells fuel station. It's open to the public. It's got a large, nicely built station. Plenty of cover. They sell unleaded green diesel, red diesel, DEF. Twin Wells fuel station. They accept all your major credit cards and fleet. Don't sweat it. Don't stretch it. If you need to fill up 128 on Buck Jackson Road between Jow and Carlsbad, Twin Wells fuel station. Thanks for supporting and being part of being the Breakfast Club. Text lines are open 877-396-9105.
And so one of the texters asking me if I fixed my car. Well, I'm in the process of getting it fixed, but
that's not happening.
Not yet. This is just so frustrating.
You're not going to get anything done.
But Buddy says, Tom, did you just say you wanted to be a lesbian? No, come on.
That's what I thought you said. That's why I was waiting for you to clarify how you was using that word, because I thought you just said you wanted to be a lesbian.
No, I want to be
I wasn't sure.
Lesbian.
I used to make sure that my clock was at 8 o'clock to listen to Earl Pitts. Now we play him. Yeah, we've moved him to the first break. There you go. And Tom is full of crap again. And don't read the next one.
All right.
Okay. But I have seen that movie. But it wasn't Ron Jeremy. I think that was a John Holmes movie. But anyway, good morning, guys. How about El Chapa from Socorro? I've seen the movie. And I know which character they're talking about. I know it's not. It's a cop show. It's a very grisly cop show. It takes place on the other side of the border.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And I guess if we're talking about villains on the question today, who's the best all-time movie villain? Kirk Douglas in the movie The Villain.
Right. He was good. And Drew from Carlsbad saying, well, Tom A. has fulfilled his goal of life to be an actor. I mean, Monday through Friday, He is on the air acting like he's a radio personality. Drew from Carlsbad this morning. Look, I'm having the funnest time of my life being on the radio.
Coming, I've got a good question to ask later, and you can think about this. What was something that you thought was one way and it took you decades to figure it out? You know what I'm talking about? Like that jackalopes are just a mythical creature.
Oh, yeah.
When you first seen a jackalope on the wall with horn, you'd be surprised how many people think that's a real creature.
Well, if you ask people in Odessa, Texas, they'll tell you the big old jackalope, which is the big old bunny rabbit, right?
So anyway, I've got a whole list of those that I'll get to later. I thought we might have some fun with. Also, something we've got to get to is our taking out the trash. Taking out the trash is brought to you by Trash Eaters. And we have the best trash service here at the station and in our home area that I've ever had because of Trash Eaters in Lovington. You get the trash done right, always clean cans. You can put anything in the Trash Eaters disposal that you want because they've got the equipment to chop it up. It's Trash Eaters, your personalized, always clean trash service, Lovington, New Mexico. Go to trasheaters.com, 390-4549, 390-4549. Trash Eaters, and I thank them for being part of the Breakfast Club and bringing you taking out the trash. Okay, we've already talked about it. We kind of killed it. But Don Lemon.
Yes.
Don Lemon, they took, I'm not taking out the trash. CNN did. This narcissist, the other day, right after the engagement that he had with the presidential candidate whose name I can never pronounce. Give me a second.
Nikki Haley?
No, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Okay, you jacked that one up.
He was on CNN, got in a bitter on-air argument with him, and basically said that he had to be a racist because he wasn't black. That was basically the final comment that CNN what put the straw over the camel's back. And you got to remember some of the charges that's been up against Don Lemon that his other antics have overshadowed.
Many of them.
Like the one in the bar where the guy that sued him for $1 million, he was working the bar. Don Lemon walks up and like puts his hands down in his personal area, rubs himself and sticks it under this guy's nose and then asks him whether he liked that or women. Yeah, this is Don Lemon. Well, finally, CNN had enough. They got rid of him. He's gone, and his career could be completely over because I heard that he's already been invited to compete on Celebrity Big Brother. So there you go. Don Lemon, thank goodness CNN helped me take out the trash. That's you're taking out the trash.
Now, doesn't he want to be a mother too? Because him and his husband, or how do you say that? His husband want to have a baby. Of course, they can't have one, but they want to adopt one.
You talking about him or Buttigieg?
No, I'm him.
You're talking about him.
And I think he said he would be the mother in that relationship.
I'm pretty sure. I bet you money he's the mother in that relationship. That's the term you want to use. But here you go. Text lines are open, 877-396-9105. And I thought I had a phone call.
Yeah.
But let's go to the phones. You're on Be the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Hey, this is Rocket out here driving around. I just wanted to make a comment about that taking out the trash. That was probably the worst one ever because CNN is the trash, and Don Lemon, all he is a soiled, crappy diaper that ripped out the side of the bag and somebody stepped in it. Have a good day.
Rocking it, telling it like it is.
Get visual rocking.
But you know who I thought after I heard that not only him but Tucker was gone too at Fox was, do you remember that old show on CNN where they had a conservative talk show guy and a liberal? They were on opposite sides of each other.
Hannity and Combs?
No, the other one, the other show.
Okay.
It was early in CNN's
Crossfire.
Man,
you're really going back. I can't even believe I read your mind on that one.
Yeah.
But the original Left and Right show was
But you know,
way back there.
somebody's going to get an idea. And let's bring old Lamont and Tucker together because Tucker used to work at CNN, if you remember.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
You know, I wonder what something like that would be like.
I don't know. But I think one of the new news stations will probably take them up because they ain't going to get on Fox or CNN.
It could be something like that. You never know. I was just thinking, what would it be like if you put Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson
Well, they know each other. I mean, they worked with each other at one time.
It could be like this. What? Oh, no, wait, no.
Okay.
Wrong computer. I was trying to set something up there because you actually led me to something. One of the little pieces in the show prep that I found had addressed that. You want to know what Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson would be like together? Probably be something like this.
Don Lemon, Tucker Carlson, together for the first time. Tucker live in a D.C. studio. Don Lemon live from a New Orleans bar. The perfect duo for narcissistic, opinionated commentary.
Well, good evening. Having sex in a public men's room is outrageous. It's also really common.
I may be open to a relationship this year.
I'm the least anti-gay right-winger you'll ever meet.
I'm a bad person to date.
Oh, that's outrageous.
I live my life to the fullest. I don't care what people think about me.
I've been bothered in men's rooms.
I do what I want because it's my life.
Don't miss Lemon Tucker, buried in the darkest depths of cable TV.
I always live my life to the very fullest.
Lemon Tucker, sponsored by Bud Light.
Thanks for sticking with us.
So I thought the name for him, too.
There you go, Lemon Tucker. There you go. That would
Tucker with a dash of lemon. How about that?
So I was ahead of you. I was already ahead of you.
Well,
on
and
that
I will
one,
say
so.
this. I will say this. Now, as much as I don't like Lemon and what he's become, these are both very talented men in their own right.
Are you kidding me?
Tucker's a very talented guy.
Tucker, but Don Lemon talented?
Maybe back in the day when he had his own show. But the thing is, they wouldn't have gotten rid of him, Russ. No way they'll get rid of him if that morning show with the two female co-hosts had good numbers. They didn't have any good numbers.
That was because of lack of talent.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just nobody liked him. That's all.
That's been Don Lemon's problem since the beginning of his career was loft. You understand loft? Like most problems with most golfers, the problem is loft.
Oh, you get the, what do you call that? The jitters?
No, it's not. That's the yips. That's
the yippers, yeah.
You know, and I don't even mean loft on clubs. I mean lack of talent. LOFT. Loft, okay?
Loft,
and that's exactly Don Lemon's lack of.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, you don't have to worry about getting paid. I mean, he's made some good coin over the years. So.
Yeah, he won't have to work anymore. A product that...
as far as being gone, bye-bye. See you down the road, buddy.
Since we're talking about Don Lemon, that has nothing to do with me going to pipeline inspection. For pipeline inspection services that you can rely on, see the folks at Iron River Inspection. There was an innuendo in there, but never mind. Mike and Matt Hemmingson are both second generation. He said he had talent, but Mike and Matt Hemmingson are both second generation pipeliners with experience in the patch you need. In fact, Iron River Inspection Team has over 300 years combined oil field related experience and always work with your best interest in mind, offering pipeline facility inspection, industry and safety training, as well as a top-notch industry consulting. Put Iron River Inspection on the job and ensure it's done right. Iron River Inspection, located 1210 Main Street in Eunice, or online at ironriverinspection.com. Text line open 877-396-W105.
Oh, and the texter says, you're not a thespian on the radio, says the texter. The stupidity that comes out of your mouth is not an act. So how do you know, man?
Yeah, somebody caught my joke. Don Lemon, I think, used to be in the pipeline inspection business before he got into broadcasting. Right. Also, there is a wreck 8 miles west of Jow on Highway 128. So we will get on the line and get some details on that. But it says wreck 8 miles west of Jow on Highway 128. Take care driving in that area. Emergency responders crews could be in that area. And this look at your traffic update brought to you by Ragsdale Law. If you're looking for a leading accident lawyer in New Mexico who's been involved in oil field and automobile accidents and has seen verdicts of $10 million, $9 million, $2.1 million, the most experienced in our area and the one always on your side, Ragsdale Law Firm. Look, Ragsdale, 600 North Pennsylvania in Roswell, 208-5300, 208-5300, and thank them for bringing you this traffic update.
And Jethro is asking, Tom thinks he's attractive, says the texter.
Thinking about Don Lemon.
Was you talking about Don? No, I said he's talented. And so is Tucker. But I'm thinking, where did you get that bit that about Don and Tucker?
Just off.
Well, see, they were thinking the same thing I was, and I thought about this when I saw
Lemon Tucker. I think it would be a great show, Lemon Tucker. Matter of fact, you could probably put Ron Jeremy in that one since he's already come up this morning. You put him in as a co-host. But from the text line, after Bud Light did what they did, Fox News said, "Here, hold my beer." They're trying to turn themselves off as best they can.
Right. Hey, Chrissy Light, our health correspondent, is in Dallas, and she says the nurses are listening. They say howdy.
Good morning. That nurse crew's still doing, I think now they're not taking training. I think they're actually doing the instructing with some other nurses and some other, so they have a sorted duty.
We need nurses, boy, in the industry.
So good morning, Chrissy, listening all the way from Dallas. Best villain in the answer to the question of the day. Who are the best villains of the day? Daniel Day-Lewis, the butcher in Gangs of New York.
Never saw that movie.
Oh, you've never seen Gangs of New York? You poor underprivileged chap.
Is that about the mob or what?
It's about the 5 Points area of New York at the turn of the century.
Oh, it's a timepiece.
It's the timepiece, yes.
Oh, hey, the best villain on TV, Drew from Carlsbad says, is that really old guy in the White House pretending to be a president? That's true this morning.
And let's see. I still think I agree with him. Jenny from Forrest Gump. Chip said this morning, I see her as a villain. She was a bad guy. Any way you look at it, she was a bad guy. And then somebody said something about the jackalopes. Where's the one about jackalopes? Russ, why do you have to tell people jackalope isn't a real creature? It sure is. I have one on my wall. There you go. Right along. I actually have one too. I've got it in my den right next to my chupacabra.
Yeah.
My stuffed chupacabra. I have one of those. But there are things like this that we believe over the span of years that, well, they're not necessarily.
Mythical legends?
There's a whole list of them. If you go on, let's see, what's the website? Reddit. If you go on Reddit right now, there is a list of things that people believed
exist.
That they don't now. Well, not necessarily things that exist, but there's a thread online where people are sharing things they learned embarrassingly late in life that they believed for a long time. That the polka dotty doesn't somehow know when someone's inside. Oh, wait. Oh, that's a miss. That's when I cut and paste it and everything. I messed up the word. That the porta potty doesn't somehow know when someone's inside. The sign only changes to occupied when you physically lock the door. There's some people that said they didn't realize you had to physically do that.
Lock the door?
Well, you've got to change the sign to occupied.
Oh,
they
yes,
think
yes,
that the porta
they do.
potty just magically knew that you were in there. So, and a lot of people don't realize whole milk is usually only about 3% fat. I always thought it was, whole milk meant 100% milk. When I saw that reduced was 2%, I thought, well, reduced means they're like taking 50. No. The difference in whole milk and reduced fat milk is 1% of fat.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did you grow up on a farm?
No.
You a city boy all your life?
Well, I mean, I grew up in Lovington and working around animals and ranching and everything. But no, I did that. But no, I wasn't raised on a farm. I lived on the corner of 9th and K.
So did you ever drink from a cow?
Yes.
When you were milking them?
Yes.
And
I actually, when I was hauling milk, I had the drivers trick me because I was young and dumb into tasting the milk right directly out of the tank. And of course, that's not pasteurized. It's got all kinds of bad things in it. And I got so sick that I actually ended up with about the worst case of food poisoning. It sent me to the hospital. And
so you wouldn't recommend it?
I was real stupid.
Drinking the cow's milk?
Wouldn't recommend it till after it's pasteurized. I'd probably leave that alone.
Think about something, Russ, because really back in the day, they didn't have no way to pasteurize that milk.
Yeah, but they boiled it.
Oh, did they boil it?
But it's different. The cattle, when you see, them drinking it and spraying it on the cows, but straight out of the cow, this was at a dairy where the cows are medicated and there's a ton of different cows in there. You got one cow and it's your wild cow and it's your family cow and you're not using chemicals and a lot of stuff like that and everything. Then more likely you just drink the milk right straight from the cow. But someone thought that prima donna, the term prima donna, they thought it meant before Madonna.
Right.
Meaning that the person was starting to behave like Madonna. So they were prima donna. That was one of the other things. And, and then you go full Madonna. That's what it is. So, text me something that you believed for a long time before you found out that was false. All right.
Well, you know what? I grew up in southern Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in my formative years. And when we moved there from Arizona, there was the whole talk about Bigfoot. Remember Bigfoot?
Oh, yeah.
And because he grew up right next door in Washington.
Bigfoot?
Yeah. He used to, the creature was from that way. And so it turned out years later that someone had filmed a video of Bigfoot, but it was all choreographed. I mean, it was all, fake. But people still chase that animal to this day.
Well, I'm not sure whether it's a misconception or not. We got to find out whether it's real.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we would have probably hit one with a car by now if it was actually real.
Right. It might have been that. Instead of that llama, it might have been Bigfoot.
And then some of these that are on this list that Reddick is peddling are kind of simple. Someone didn't realize that people were saying letter A, coma, C-O-M-A, and thought that people could fall into a coma.
Okay.
A coma.
A coma. A coma.
A-C-O-M-A. A coma. They fall into a coma. And one other person said that it took them years to realize that euthanasia.
Right.
They didn't realize what that meant. They thought they were talking about young people in Asia. Youth in Asia.
Youth in Asia.
That must have been confusing on some of those news stories. And let's see. And when you're an adult, you don't need to buy shoes that are a little loose so you can grow into them if you get taller.
Mm-hmm.
Some people online actually admitted they thought even as an adult, you need to get your shoes looser so, you could grow into them like your feet kept growing forever.
Mm.
Some of these things could be believed by only really stupid people, apparently. So,
Hey, Russ, says the texter, what are you talking about? I worked at a local dairy for over a year, and we were allowed to take 1 gallon of milk straight from the tank each shift. My family and I lived off that and never got sick. The best Oreo milk is the warm milk right from the teat, says Brian this morning.
Okay, I'm just saying, I drank some out of the dairy when I was hauling milk a long time ago. It made me sick. But, yeah, and especially somebody else said we didn't boil our milk. Like I said, if you're using your family's cows,
No.
I drank milk out of a straight milk tank, where 2,000 or 3,000 cows are going through there. And apparently somebody else has too and drank it without it making them sick, but mine sure did.
And Russ, another texter says, we didn't boil our milk from our cow, says the texter. Wow.
One of the texts says, after years of advertising about Heine wineries in No Trees, Texas, when I moved there was no winery. There's no winery? I thought there was a Heine winery.
Was there? Okay. Here's a funny one. Hey, Russ probably drank from the bull, says the texter. And we've been drinking raw milk for over a decade, says another text.
Well, there you go.
Well, I guess it's your preference, man. I don't drink milk.
You don't drink milk at all? You lactose intolerant?
No, I just don't drink it. Maybe every once in a while, I'll buy those little mini milk cartons because they don't fit in my refrigerator. A gallon of milk don't fit in my refrigerator. A half gallon of milk don't fit in my refrigerator. Yeah. I got one of the mini freezers.
Oh, no, you're not going to get that in mini freezers. So. I thought maybe you said you didn't drink it because you were lactose intolerant, so I didn't understand. So, anyway, you can check that list out on Reddit. Somebody else said they didn't realize that pineapples grew on the ground, not on trees.
I didn't know that either. I thought they'd grown from the
You thought
tree.
pineapples grew on trees?
Yeah.
Right there on the ground. It come off of like a little bush plant.
So they don't fall from the tree or nothing?
No. That's a coconut.
But they got that little green thing on top of it. What's that thing called?
That's actually the stalk. When it's growing from the deal, the stalk is growing there, and a pineapple comes off that stalk like a berry. So they're cutting that away and then cut the middle out of it. And that's what you see. YouTube, man. Go watch the YouTube video on how they raise pineapple. That's pretty cool. And also somebody said, I didn't know that pickles were made for cucumbers until I was 24.
Yep.
In the middle of anyway.
It's a lot of pickles.
You didn't know pickles come from cucumbers?
Not for the longest time, no.
Do you think there was a pickle plant?
I thought they grew off a tree or something. That's when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Number one, I hate pickles.
Okay. And one person said, while watching Game of Thrones, I asked my husband when dragons went extinct. And then he actually had to pause the show. I'm sorry, but that's the best one. So text me something that you believed for years and years, and then you found out wasn't actually quite right.
Yeah.
And we're coming up on our national anthem. We've already taken out the trash. Also, we'll do this day in history a little bit later. I think the tweet of the day, the stupid tweet of the day, is actually going to be in regards to our president, whom in a speech decided that our children are not our children. He actually said our nation's children belong to all of us.
You want to vote for Joe Biden, ladies?
There you go. How socialist does that sound? That was his statement, is that the nation's children belongs to all of us.
Yeah, to him.
We'll talk about that later, because I'm pretty sure our children belong to us. Pretty sure. Our national anthem and Pledge of Allegiance this morning, brought to you by Rebecca Long. You know, she started her insurance business at the age of 19. And when it's coming to protect your home, auto, and boats for long term, Rebecca has been around for 40 years, and she's still helping people. Her office is 226 West Vega in Hobbs, or you can call her at 393-2661. I'll tell you how good Rebecca Long is and how hard she works for customers. Rebecca Long is one of my insurance coverages.
Yes.
When we had our hailstorm, the claims adjuster come by. Then Rebecca come by, and she actually threw a ladder on the side of my house. Rebecca right up on the roof, inspected the damage before, found damage that the other agent hadn't, the other adjuster hadn't, added that on my claims, got that straight. Then when the roofing was done and it was all complete, she come over and inspected the roof herself.
Wow.
Okay. Now, how many insurance people?
I ain't never known of any besides her.
That was send some guy to do it. No, Rebecca Long climbed up on my roof herself, scared me to death. I've noticed since elementary school, I was so afraid she'd go. But that's the extent of her coverage, and that's
right.
the way she treats everybody. And let her show you how you can optimize your coverage by bundling, and talk to Rebecca. Rebecca Long, decades of coverage, decades of trust, and the person that you can trust to protect you and your family. Boat, commercial, life insurance. Call Rebecca Long. Rebecca Long Farmers Insurance, 393-2661, brings you our Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem on W105.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Carrie Underwood.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled
God bless America. And your Lord's Prayer. Judah Oil brings you that, reminds everyone that stay positive during these times and always keep your family first. Focus on the things that you have control over and know that God is always in control.
From James 5, it says, "Therefore confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so you may be healed."
Hi, this is Kim with Judah Oil and the Harris family doing the Lord's Prayer for you today. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
And your Lord's Prayer brought to you by Judah Oil. Tom A. Reese. The text lines are open at 877-396-9105. Wrap it up.
All right, so you caught me by surprise. I thought we were
I'm
going to go to
sorry.
news.
We're going to a quick look at news, and also we're going to play a sounder, sign some people up for the W105 cash blowout. News this time brought to you by, if you're wanting an affordable, quiet place to park your RV while you're working in or around Carlsbad, WWRV is 3 RV parks in one. And with a nice, quiet place for their working tenants, 162 RV sites with 30 and 50 amp available, all utilities included in each price, including premium wired internet on each site, so you can game and do your movie streaming. WWRV is pet-friendly, well-lit, plenty of street lights. Get pricing and contact info by visiting their website at www.rvx3.com. Or easier, give them a call, 899-0392, 899-0392. Wrap up the text. We'll take a break and go to news.
All right, so I worked on a dairy for a long time and drank milk. This is a different texture from the other one. And we drank milk straight from the tank until one day I got to the bottom of the glass. Guess what was in it? Hay. Okay.
And we'll do this traffic update before we...
we got a chip that sends us a single car rollover, mile marker 155 on the Maljamar Highway heading towards Maljamar out of Loving. And
159.
159.
Mile marker 159 on the Maljamar Highway
Single
headed
car,
towards...
out of Lovington, he says. Single car rollover, no police on the scene as yet. We'll get on it here in a moment. I'll call my sources, and this report being brought to you by
Luke's Ragsdale. If you're looking for an accident lawyer in New Mexico, if you've been involved in a traffic or oil field accident, call Luke. They've got the big settlements, a single car wreck, $685,000. They've got the experience, and their team works for you. It's Luke Ragsdale, 600 North of Pennsylvania. Dial, contact Luke, 208-5300, 208-5300. Ragsdale Law Firm bringing you this traffic update on 105. That's out right close to our transmitter. Very, very close to our transmitter, son. And that road's always been dangerous out there. So we'll get you up to date on that latest update in your news now, and let's get you signed up to win some money on W105. We'll be right back. More Being Breakfast Club.
Rig Outfitters and Home Store in Hobbs presents the W105 Cash Blowout.
Call now.
Call 877-396-W105 now. Be one of the first 5 people to call in for your chance to win $105. The W105 Cash Blowout.
I want my money. I want it now.
Call in now to win.
There's been talk in the news that it's hard to get credit these days. Not here. Just like always, we're making auto loans. We offer competitive rates and quick service. We make our loan decisions locally, so you don't have to wait for out-of-town approval on your loan. Make this strong move. Get your auto loan from us. Estacado Federal Credit Union, where you are more than a number. You're a member. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hobbs, get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
This is Daniel Velos, General Manager, Carlsbad Chevrolet, asking you to push it, pull it, and drag those old cars from your driveway. Heck, the old cars you left in Mom or Grandma's driveway. If you have a title, they can be worth $3,000 on this program. We've dragged in a scrap bin to the front of our lot to send those suckers right to the boneyard. This program was made for people like you and me, and I'm going to help you take advantage. Right here at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal Street in Carlsbad. Also, like us on Facebook for service and parts specials throughout the month.
Reading Under the Lights is happening Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium. There'll be free food, books, and other fun activities for the kids to enjoy. Bring out the whole family. Reading stations featuring Hobbs Fire, Police, Lee County Sheriffs, and NMJC basketball from 5 to 6 p.m. Then from 6 to 7, reading and special guest speaker, 2017 Super Bowl champion and children's book author Malcolm Mitchell, and book signing with an autograph session from 7 to 8. Come out and support the first ever Reading Under the Lights, Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium at 5 p.m. Brought to you by the United Way of Lee County, Hobbs Municipal Schools, and the J.F. Maddox Foundation.
Carlsbad's evening hotspot is Cal's Shade Western Lounge and Package, featuring nightly drink specials, karaoke Wednesday nights, open mic Thursdays for ladies' night with $1 off drinks. Plus, most Friday and Saturday nights feature live music. Don't forget the 24-lane bowling action of Cal's Cactus Lanes Bowling and Recreation Center with Cosmic Bowling Friday and Saturday nights. And Eat at the Cajun Station Wednesday through Saturday. A restaurant, 2 lounges, package store, and recreation center, all at 1611 South Canal in Carlsbad. Cal's Shade Western and Cal's Cactus Lanes also cater parties and events at your location or theirs. Call 887-9012 for Cal's Shade Western.
Make sure you and the crew are rigged up with a full set of work gear from Rig Outfitters and the Home Store in Hobbs. Brands like Wrangler, Rocky, Timberland, Rasco, Durango, and Bulwark FR, just to name a couple of the big ones. Hard hats, safety vests, boots, and everything FR. Choose from a full line of Arctic coolers, jugs, and mugs to keep everything to temperature on the job site. From head to toe, Rig Outfitters and the Home Store has you safely covered. 1401 North Turner in Hobbs, inside the Broadmoor Mall.
It's grime time!
Not so fast, Grime. Attention citizens, join me, Mighty Max, and become a Grime Fighter. Sign up, and after 10 washes, get a free Mighty Wash, the most powerful car wash in the universe. Now back to our story.
Oh no! It's Mighty Max and the Grime Fighters!
You're all washed up, Grime.
No!
Together, we fight crime to make your car shine.
Get your new Grime Fighter update now. It starts with a free Mighty Wash today. Now that's amazing.
That is the sound of your company logo getting printed on 500 shirts. Smart move. And an even smarter move in choosing the experts.
Awesome Graphics, serving Southeast New Mexico and West Texas for 15 years, can not only brand your t-shirts, they can embroider your polos, hats, and jackets. They can print your signs and stickers, large and small. They can handle vinyl graphics for your vehicle. Are the windows in your business too plain? Awesome can print custom decals that allow you to see out, but your customers just see your logo. In fact, Awesome Graphics can put your logo on practically every promotional item under the sun, from coffee cups and water bottles to keychains and sun visors for your company vehicles. Want authentic Yeti Ramblers, mugs, or tumblers customized with your company logo? Awesome Graphics is ready. Stop by 523 West Sanger and Hobbs for ideas, or simply visit myawesomegraphics.com. Trust Awesome Graphics and rest assured, whatever they printed on, your logo will look awesome.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Long with Farmers Insurance. The American dream of owning my own business was a constant thought growing up. I opened my insurance office at age 19, and 40 years later, I'm still here providing insurance policies for auto, home, life, commercial, boats, RVs, and ATVs. I'm Rebecca Long, and I want to be your agent. Call me today at 575-393-2661 or drop by 226 West Vega in Hobbs.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum.
Zia Natural Gas Company reminds everyone that calling 811 at least 2 working days before digging is the law. This law applies to contractors and homeowners alike. If you begin your digging project without first calling 811 to have underground utility lines marked around your dig site, you can be fined and held financially responsible for repairs to damaged utility lines. Even simple projects are not worth the risk. Know what's below. Always call 811 before you dig. This message sponsored by Zia Natural Gas Company.
When you need a water well drilled or serviced, you want the experience and dedication of the best. That's Desert Sand Water Well, offering new well drilling, service, maintenance on residential and irrigation wells, sand separator installations, and well treatment. They're licensed and bonded in New Mexico. And Desert Sand Water Well offers 24/7 service with flat hourly rates, even after hours, covering all of southeast New Mexico. Desert Sand Water Well also offers free consultations and same-day service when possible. Call Desert Sand Water Well at 575-396-3790 or visit them online at desertsandsnm.com.
Hobbs, get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
You can build the best burger in town this week at Bob's Ridgeway with fresh ground beef, $1.99 a pound. Tender crust jumbo sliced buns, 8 count, $1.68. Food Club deal hamburger pickles, 32 ounce, $1.98. Borden singles, 12 ounce pack, only $2.48. And get Food Club ketchups and mustard, big 20 ounce, only 98 cents. And the red ripe tomatoes, only 99 cents a pound. And the jumbo sweet onions, 2 pounds for just $1. Those and over 150 high value inflation fighting specials this week, where your service and value is always the best, and where your grocery dollar always goes farther and they still carry your groceries out for you. You can build the best burger in town this week at Bob's Ridgeway, 906 West Avenue D in Lovington.
Southeast New Mexico weather.
Good morning. The southeast plains of New Mexico. Its temperatures in the 285 corridor go to 86 degrees in Roswell. Slight chance for a shower. In Carlsbad, Artesia, temperature at 87. Lovington and Hobbs, a 20% chance for a shower. High temperature of 82 degrees on this Tuesday. By Wednesday, cooler, high of 75 in Lovington. Carlsbad temperatures near 81. For W105 FM, I'm meteorologist Ron Roberts.
Your country plays on W105.
Here is your Liar Liar Pants on Fire update.
Before Russia attacked, we made sure Russia had javelins and other weapons.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet, and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain God studio. Text line at 877-396-W105.
Okay, you ready? Yeah. Here it comes. Okay, I'm ready.
Don't get up without us.
It's Be in the Breakfast Club, about 22 minutes in front of the hour of 8 o'clock. We got a bunch of people registered for the last segment where we did our cash blowout drawing. Tom A. Reese still back there checking on some information reference. A rollover accident been reported. Single car rolled over mile marker 159 on the, I think they're saying Maljamar highway, headed towards Maljamar out of Lovington. So be careful in that area. Car flipped on Artesia, no traffic backed up. But be cautious and slow down in the area. This traffic update brought to you by Luke's Ragsdale Law Firm, 600 North Pennsylvania Remember, call 208-5300. Tom A. Reese, did you get any info reference that accident?
Well, not yet. I did text two of our sources here in Lee County, and maybe they can get some information on that wreck on mile marker 159, Mount Jamar Highway. Now, you said that's going out towards our tower, right? Somewhere around there?
I'm thinking so, yes. Right in that area.
As soon as we get information, we'll pass it on to you guys.
And also, we're back to one of the questions that I posed earlier. I said, what fallacies or what untruths did you believe when you were younger that you, for years, and you found out later on were untrue? And one of the text line people had it in there, estimation. He said, I told my kids when they were growing up that windmills were wind makers. And now they believe that apparently. They're not anymore, but they still call them wind makers. I guess I'm a bad mom. That's Chrissy.
Oh, is it?
She told her kids the windmills made the wind, so that wasn't nice. And then somebody else, the fallacy that he believed for years, he said, I thought JFK was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Text lines are open, 877-396-W105. Joe from Hobbs said he actually found out Madonna wasn't a virgin.
What?
And that shocked him. So that's apparently one of the things that he did. And let's see, I always thought the signs that said dip meant that where you threw your dip out.
Okay.
He said, my dad always threw a dip out, so I didn't know that for a while. You know, dip, you know what he means by dip? He's talking about like your dip of tobacco, your Copenhagen.
I was thinking bean dip.
And when you go by that's where you throw your bean dip out, litter bug. And then, no, we didn't change the question. Drew asked if we changed the question today. The question of the day, official question today, is still, who's the greatest movie villain of all time? No, this is just a little segment that I had that was talking about some things that people believed for a long time, but then they found out later in life that it wasn't factual, like pineapples grew on trees. So did you take a nap during the break?
No, I was trying to get our sources, and but interesting enough, Russ, we have another similar type of accident. This in our just outside of Artesia. I think that's what the texter's telling me. Single car rollover. This other one said it's going out of Lovington, and it's Artesia is in Eddy County, but I'm checking right now. It's on the Artesia Highway, says the texter. But,
so right now there's confusion whether we have one wreck or two wrecks because of the way the texters have texted in.
Yeah, I'm texting Matt Hutchinson, our PIO, in Eddy County right now. Russ?
And I always thought bananas were always yellow, not green when they first sprouted. Yes, but as you get older, you find out that if you want bananas that aren't brown, you have to buy them when they're green and then eat them in the car on the way home while they're yellow. Because as soon as I get my bananas home, they go from yellow to brown in about 20 minutes. I don't know why, but they always do. So,
did you ever eat bananas that were really, really ripe?
You mean overripe?
Yeah.
That's when you make banana bread, brother.
Pudding.
Yeah, pudding and banana bread. By the way, H&H Field Services New Mexico, they're part of your Being the Breakfast Club. Also, they're your New Mexico, Delaware, and Permian Basin poly pipeline construction professionals. They're located in Jow, New Mexico, right at 1310 West Kansas, Unit C. H&H Field Services, they offer their fast fusion poly pipe machine along with squeeze tools up to 16 inches, turnkey pipeline facility construction, plus some contractor services on your fast fusion machines and squeeze tool. Give Colin Holloman a call. 432-269-6027. Company men, put that phone number in your phone, 432-269-6027, or visit H&H Field Services online at hnhfs.com. H&H Field Services, thank them for being along for B and the Breakfast Club. Coming up, we've got to find out what's special about this day in history, and then we're going to talk about NASA has determined the perfect time that you can take a nap. How long the perfect nap time is. And I read something similar to this a couple of months ago, and I've been trying it, and I think they're right. I get a much better nap with you doing it for less time. So we'll discuss about that. But back in the day, brought to you by, and this is the reason I want to talk about this was Train It New Mexico. I found out Train It New Mexico does so much more than just, they give you your truck driver's license, you get your CDL in about a week with more time behind the wheel than any other training technique, more specialized personal training from the instructor that's with you than you're going to find with any other driving school. And they teach so much more than just truck driving. They've also got, along with your CDL training, they got herbicide licensing, OSHA training, DOT compliance. They teach welding and your special OSHA training course, truck and car awareness and driving, snow and ice control, your ATV and UTVs. They'll teach you how to operate those, backhaul and safety operation. It's your full oil field and truck drivers training. It's Train It New Mexico. You can contact Train It New Mexico. Go to trainitnewmexico.com, or you can contact them. Phone numbers that you can go online and contact them directly. They've got a tech service for it. Train It in New Mexico, trainitnewmexico.com. Your career could be waiting for you, and Training in Mexico could make it happen. And I thank Train It New Mexico for bringing you all about this day in history, April the 25th. You got anything on this day?
April 25th.
I just did that just to scare you. I'm sorry. It was 304 years ago, 1719, Robinson Crusoe was published. Do you realize that was a 300-year-old manuscript?
Robinson Crusoe,
300-year-old manuscript.
What did he write about?
What did he write about?
Stranded on an island.
Have you never read the book Robinson Crusoe?
The Robinsons, yeah. The old TV show, yeah.
Okay. I've got to get you a book. I really do. I've got to get you a book. And let's see. Also, it was 78 years ago the United Negro College Fund was founded. 76 years ago, President Truman opened the first White House bowling alley.
Really?
Yes, very, very first bowling alley was put in the White House, and that was just a little over 50 years ago. And then other things on your birthday board today is Lingerie Day. Yep. According to a new study, 80% of women are wearing the wrong size bra. The other 20% have the wrong size breasts.
Okay.
And actually, former Playboy bunny Dory Jacobson, she's the world's oldest lingerie model. She's 88 years old.
Dang.
She said in an interview that growing old doesn't mean you have to stop being sexy.
Good for her.
In all respect, Grandma, yes, it does. It really does. I've seen the pictures. Also, today is DNA Day. According to a new study, your susceptibility to obesity is based on DNA. So if your DNA says you're going to be fat, you're going to be fat.
In my tree line, that's not the case.
Well, that's what the science says. Says it's in your DNA. So that answers the old age-old question. Yes, your genes do make you look fat.
Okay.
And also today is World Malaria Day. Researchers say new experimental vaccines could wipe out malaria, but its side effects are COVID. There's some birthdays on the board. Bojan Alvarez.
Never heard of him.
Yes, you have. He's in one of your favorite groups. Dancing Queen.
Oh, by the way.
He's from ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lynn Goodman was a judge on the Dancing with the Stars.
Who's Lynn Goodman?
He's a judge on the Dancing with the Stars show.
Uh-huh.
He passed away.
What does it have to do with ABBA?
Well, they're both entertainers. So
It's a long stretch, but that's a long stretch anyway. It's his birthday today. He's getting a little older, so he's got a new song out called The Name of the Game is Bingo. So, and who's Michael Lohan? Lohan. I'll say
Michael
it right.
Lohan. Is he the father of Lindsay Lohan?
That's Lindsay's dad. And he just written a heartfelt song for his daughter called I Know I've Made Mistakes, but I still need $300 if you got.
She's having a baby.
And last but not least, Jason Lee is actor, 53 years old.
Isn't he related to one of the Lees, Chinese?
No.
Actors?
Oh heck, I knew who he was. Jason Lee. Give me a second, because this. My name is Earl.
Earl Pitts?
Remember the show My Name is Earl? He's also the guy that was on the Chipmunk movie. And
oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's 53 years old. He was actually big into Scientology, but he left Scientology 6 years ago, and since then he says he's been followed by spaceships. He can't explain.
Of course he has.
There you go. That's the things that's brought to you all about today. It's brought to you by Train It, New Mexico.
Let's go. Text lines. People interested in the Kennedy assassination should watch an old Chris Christopherson movie called Flashpoint. You're an old movie guy. You remember that one?
Not particularly enough, that one.
Okay. A rocket sends us a report on mile marker 159. Emergency responders are on the location. That, according to Rocket, this report being brought to you by
Ragsdale Law Firm, 600 North Pennsylvania in Roswell. Call Luke Ragsdale. He's the guy that's got wrongful settlements from wrongful death, $10 million, $9 million from medical malpractice. He's got the experience, and Luke's in your corner. 600 North Pennsylvania, Luke Ragsdale Law Firm brings you this traffic update. What else you got from the text line?
Well, texter's asking her, saying, I always thought that Tom A would lose weight, but he hadn't, says the texter. I'm kind of stuck right now. And the biggest fallacy I found out, it isn't true that the government works for the people, says the text. And another one says, how about Lorena? Lorena. What's Lorena, buddy? Lorana?
Say that again.
It's spelled L-L-O-R-O-N-A. Lorana.
Okay. Read the whole text. You got to give me some context here.
She's got just one text on there. And it says Lorana.
Lorana. I'm not sure what that's.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. She goes on to explain. It's the Mexican urban legend. It's called Llorona. Her name is Llorona.
Okay.
She cried.
And one of the people said that for years they believed that cocaine smelled bad.
Did they really?
Look at you. I can't believe so. And then somebody taught me how to keep my bananas from spoiling so fast. They said, hey, Russ, keep aluminum foil around the top of the bananas where they're held together. They'll last a lot longer. So I'll give that a try. Maybe I'll put that in my cooking segment on the deal.
Oh, there you go.
And Russ, any news on the cow mutilations in Texas UFO? Maybe.
Well, we talked about that yesterday, right?
Yeah,
but it seems like somebody just tore or cut the tongues out of 6 cows near Texas A&M.
And the genitals and the anus, but then there's also been some scuttlebutt out there that maybe that might have not been as surgically done as they said, and,
right?
And that there was blood on the scene. And
I
somebody else texted yesterday. They said, "Have you ever seen mountain lions kill cows?" Sounded a whole lot like what we described. So,
well, I think that someone actually did that. You remember the old crop dusters back in the day?
When you start talking about crop dusting, I get nervous right off. But go ahead.
Not crop dust. What am I looking for? They would make circles in the crops. What are those called?
Crop circles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a human actually made those.
Yes.
But everybody thought, oh, my God, it's the UFO.
That's kind of why, let's see, what's the more chances? This is Okay, when they said it was cultists, so some people went out and wrestled these cows down and cut their tongues out and cut their anuses and genitals out.
Okay.
Yeah, how'd y'all do that without a squeeze chute? Okay, I mean, it's just a whole lot of things there.
What? And later on, I saw this documentary on how they did those crop circles, and what it was, these real smart kids.
You're stuck on this crop circle thing, aren't you?
These real smart kids, they actually diagrammed a crop field, right? And they said, we're going to do this. And so they actually had a plan to do this. They would use flat boards, Russ, and they would designate themselves in different parts of the cornfields, and they would stomp down on them, make a shape, and then go on to the next one.
Yes.
That's how it's done.
Crop circles. Yeah. Come out years ago. Somebody sent me a picture of a jackalope in the jowl area.
And remember, most legends started with the truth.
There you go. That's the. And then somebody said skinwalkers kill cows. What are skinwalkers? I'm going to have to look that up now. Okay, La
Llorona.
Llorona, La Llorona
my
is
Llorona.
A weeping lady.
Mama Llorona. Mama Llorona.
Is a weeping lady who drowned her kids in the river.
Oh, my.
So when we were bad, our parents would say that she was coming for us.
Right.
So there's one.
She came out of a lake, didn't she?
Like a negative Santa Claus.
Right.
Like a negative Santa Claus. So, okay, here's a little bit of update. Major collision has occurred 1 to 12 miles west of Jow. Okay. Between Jow and Battle Axe. And it goes on, it says, looks like between mile marker 42 and 45, so somewhere in that area. We know the collision involves a semi and a passenger car. Debris is all over the roadway.
Oh, my.
Highway 128 is closed. Expect extreme delays. It's I would advertise that you would advise that you seek an alternative route. This is a major collision 11 to 12 miles west of Jow, between Jow and Battle Axe Road. It looks like it's between mile markers 42 and 45. And again, very busy morning for Luke Ragsdale. Luke Ragsdale Law Firm, 600 North Pennsylvania, 208-5300. Luke Ragsdale. We'll get more information on, is this the third one this morning?
This is the third one this morning.
So far. So be careful out there. Like I said, fog in many low-lying areas. Pavement could also be slicker than it appears because the amount of dew that's on the roadway. So be very careful out there. Stay tuned for more traffic updates. And let me slide in here real quick with also, we're coming up on a big driving season, vacation, camping times, getting warmer. Don't go camping without Main Trailer Sales. Serving all of southeast New Mexico with the largest inventory of new and pre-owned RVs, including Keystone, Cougar, Montana, just to name a few, fifth wheels, tall haulers, ultralights. If you're working the passion, living in a hotel, put that per diem to use. Buy something with it. Main Trailer Sales has been serving New Mexico for over 65 years, and check their website out, maintrailersales.com, 622-1751, 622-1751. Don't go camping without them. We thank Main Trailer Sales for bringing you B and the Breakfast Club. We have still come up on our tweet of the day. And the tweet of the day today is going to involve a news story I wanted to talk about first. You realize that our children are not our own. Joe Biden has made a decree, and it did set the Twitter world on fire. President Biden is being ripped by critics because of his statement suggesting that children of parents across the nation belong to the whole country to raise rather than their own families. His statement was, there is no such thing as someone else's child, no such thing as someone else's child. Our nation's children are all our nation's. Biden said, quoting a former teacher during a speech at the White House Rose Garden, honoring 2023 National and State Teachers of the Year. Our kids on our own. It's everybody's children now. It's the nation's children. And basically, Twitter went off. I won't even name them all, but basically, in one loud Twitter voice, parents in the United States, there was over 260 responses after his speech posted on Twitter in the first 5 minutes. Most of them unanimously saying, like hell, they're not your children, they're not the nation's children, they're our children. But this is the knee-jerk socialist response of this administration and this president. Even the lefties on Twitter was upset about this statement by Joe Biden. Well, this is what you elected. This is what you voted for. So anyway, that's where it's going. They're not your children anymore. That's what the teachers union says. That's what the teachers that they was commending for Teacher of the Year, and now from the president's lips, they're not your children anymore. They belong to everyone. I don't think so. So are you waiting? You got an update?
Got an update from the Eddy County Sheriff's Office. Matthew Hutchinson, the public information officer. Remember, someone reported that there was a rollover on the Artesia Highway. Well, he texts me right now, and he says nothing has been reported to us. That according to Matthew Hutchinson, again, nothing has been reported to us on a rollover on the Artesia Highway. So maybe so, maybe not, but we're still waiting for more information on that.
Try to get some...
Yeah. Still nothing yet on that. It seems to be a very major crash on Highway 28, about 11, 12 miles outside of Giles. So I'm trying to get more information on that. I'm using another source, so we'll see if we can get some more information on that, Russ.
All right. Coming up about 2 minutes after 8, coming up ahead of Fox News. But what I wanted to get to, because during the break, you may want to take a quick nap. I think we're only going to have 6 minutes, so I don't know if that's going to be time, but NASA's determined it doesn't take a whole lot more time than that.
Power nap?
The people at NASA are actually using their time to research something important. Forget about the moon and stars. Let's get down our napping time. Way more important than the moon or Jupiter, asteroids crashing into Earth that only Ben Affleck could stop. NASA decided to study how long our nap should be, and they found the perfect nap is 26 minutes.
26?
26 minutes. You ever took a 26-minute nap?
Yeah.
I actually took you took a 26-minute nap at a stop sign once. I'm sitting beside you while it happened. But they found the perfect length of nap is 26 minutes. When you nap 26 minutes, you'll be 54% more alert, 34% better at whatever you're doing. Now, they say, here's why. At 26 minutes, you're only going through the first 2 stages of sleep. You're not entering REM. So you get the stage of dozing off and the stage of restfulness on your mind, but then by the time your brain goes into REM, goes to dreaming, you wake up before that. If you can wake up before that happens, you don't go into the deeper stages of sleep. Those deeper stages of sleep that you go into is what makes you feel groggy.
Okay.
So now, if you go take a 3-hour nap, that's not taking a nap. That's going to bed. Yeah, you're going to feel better when you wake up. But they say what the really bad thing is, when you lay down and go to sleep an hour.
Right.
Now you've gone into your deeper stage of sleep, signaling your body that you're going to be resting for a long time, but you don't. So now you wake up, you're groggy because your body wants to hang you in that longer sleep span. So 26 minutes, and it says simple, set alarm, less than 30. Now, they said 26 minutes sleep. The one study that I read earlier said that you go for around 30 minutes on your alarm because it's going to take you 4 or 5 to 7 minutes to fall
Go
asleep.
to sleep.
To
Right.
go to sleep. So then you sleep 26 minutes. So I set my alarm for a half hour. And I've been doing that lately in the middle of the day. Just take those little 30-minute cat naps. And, yeah, I don't feel – if I sleep longer, but then you've got that groggy, nasty feeling all day long that I hate. So 26 minutes. That's the advice. That's the target time.
And they used all our text money to tell us that?
That's what I said. That's what NASA was studying. They spent all of our tax money on that just to determine it's 26 minutes. I wonder how much that study cost us.
What did it write?
I'm
What did
like
it
that.
cost?
I'm like you. What did it cost us? So
Hey, we got another texter. Any news on that motorcycle accident on West 2nd Street in Roswell last night? Don't got nothing, but I will make a quick phone call.
And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to tell them about Limpy coming down. We did our tweet of the day, which was the tweets that was in response to Joe Biden saying that our kids wasn't ours, they belonged to everybody. And the best tweet of the day was from a lady in Wisconsin. It said, like hell, I don't remember you going through 26 hours of labor to have them. Apparently she had a tough time with one of hers. So there you go. That's your tweet of the day, and it's brought to you by the Hobbs Airfield Speedway. I tell you what, they've really got a great event coming up this weekend, and down the road, Limpy is going to be in to the Speedway. You're only about 3 weeks away from that, but this Saturday, April the 29th, gates opening at 12 p.m. Race is going to start at 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Spectators only $15, only $30 for your tech card. All helmets to run are required, of course. This is a prepped track event, so this isn't no prep. You're going to be sticky. They're running a quarter a mile. Fun and grunge is what we used to call it, and cash and cards are accepted. Bring out what you bring, run what you brung is what we used to call these events. And then I believe Sunday, we're not doing bracket racing this year. This is all a Saturday fun and grunge. Let's see. There you go. I was just making sure. Saturday, April the 29th, gates open 12 p.m. They're going to be racing all day. Hobbs Motorsport Freeway prepped event, and it is a quarter-mile event. Be there. All right, you just got another update on our accident. I seen you go to your phone.
Well, there's some conflict about what's going on that Artesia Highway out of Lovington. One texter says it's on Highway 82. Again, I just texted that our Matt Hutchinson, our PIO in Eddie County, says no news of that. But let me text him again. Maybe he just hasn't got any report on that. So.
And from the text line, the texter says, cow mutilation is caused by some new fancy tech medical equipment about to come out. Last time it happened, all of a sudden new laser surgery is an option at the hospital. Laser surgery's on your eyes, isn't it?
I think so.
Anyway. Any news on that motorcycle accident on West 2nd Street in Roswell last night?
Just texted Todd Wildermuth, PIO for the city of Roswell. Hope he'll get something to us pretty quick on that. Russ?
And a skinwalker is a Navajo medicine man that uses his medicine for evil purposes. They can shapeshift into animals, usually predatory animals, typically coyotes and wolves. The skinwalker is a human form, may have more animalistic eyes, and in animal form may have more humanistic eyes. They can never perfectly take on the appearance of the animal. More of it is bit as they're taught. Anyway, that's what a skinwalker is.
Hey,
well,
Russ,
thank you for educating me, because I had let's see, should I read that?
What is it? The nasty.
Well, Robbie was talking about things that he believed for a long time. And then he says he thought he was a safe guy till his dad explained to him what lesbians like. And then, I'm sorry, I had to read that. So,
hey, by the way, do you know what a mayfly is? You ever heard of a mayfly?
Fly shows up before June?
Well, you're close.
Okay.
There's residents in this small town in North Carolina where they go out there and recreate at one of their bigger lakes. Well, guess what? They've had millions of mayflies migrate there. Now, they do it every year, right? But this year in particular, they have just overwhelmed the town. They're everywhere, coming up on the sewer. They come out, of course, out of the sky, and they're along the streets. And the good thing about these mayflies is that once they're hatched, they only live anywhere from 2 hours to 2 to 3 days. So they got to put up with these flies for a little bit. And nothing you can do, raid or anything else, ain't going to help you.
And what area is this is having such a...
This is Laquana, North Carolina. And every year they migrate there, but they'll put up with them because, there ain't a lot of them.
There's not a whole lot they can do about it.
Not a darn thing.
Some mayflies. That's what you got?
Mayflies. And here's the ironic thing. They usually do this in April. Mayflies. You'd think it would be April
You'd
flies.
think it'd be April flies, but they call them mayflies.
I've never seen a mayfly.
No, I had no idea what a mayfly was. I really didn't. Somebody making a comment about the tweet of the day and Joe Biden saying that all the children belong to everyone. They said it's because Biden's a pedophile. So he feels like he has more rights over your children. And then somebody said children belong to everyone in Logan's Run, too. And I'm not sure what the reference is. Aliens have a hold on Tom, and then it says something. It's on Google, it's shown on Google Maps. I don't understand what you're saying. It's on Google Maps. So. Let's go to the phones. You're on Being the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Good morning, Ross. Hey, on those mayflies over there at Ute Lake, about 10 years ago, me and my friend were fishing there. And those mayflies, I didn't know what a mayfly was either. He said they were mayfly. They were about the size of a bee. They were white and kind of gooey. Flew real stupid and clumsy. But we'd whack those salt cedars and mesquite hanging over the lake. Those mayflies fall on the water. We never caught so many white bass in our lives. And we went back every year at the end of August, and we caught them 4 or 5 different times. They only swarm for about a week.
Right.
But when they're there, man, you can catch a lot of fish.
Well, now somebody just...
Bass is all over them.
Well, I guess the fish would be feeding herds of extra of insects hitting the water. Yeah, it's going to turn the fish on, and somebody just referred to them as mosquito hawks. So,
okay, makes
callers,
sense.
thanks for being on Being the Breakfast Club. Maybe I'm gonna have to research this for my show this afternoon.
Yeah,
mayflies, do they kill mosquitoes?
I don't know, but Tracy from Eunice says when I was younger, I used the mayflies to fish with. He says, and hey guys, this is the one that's describing the mayfly. I said a mayfly or may not fly.
May fly, may not fly. It's kind of like, you know what you call a fly when you pull his wings off?
What do you call it?
A walk.
A walk. Okay.
I'm sorry. A walk. Thank Mark Carter for that bad joke. 13 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock. Quick weather update about what's going on the rest of the day. Your temperature is going to top out in the look for lower 80s across the area. Maybe about a 10% chance for showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Overnight low is going to drop down in only the upper 40s, and expect warmer weather, more sunshine on your Wednesday and Thursday. I've got Ron Roberts up ahead. He's going to tell you more about your weather. Fox News coming up on tap, and later on in the show, I'll give you another chance to register to win the W105 cash blowout. And I'll tell you coming back when we get back from the break, do you forget people's names?
All the time.
All the time. You know them. You walk up, and as many people as we meet, how many times have somebody's come in the studio, we interviewed them 2 or 3 years ago, they're back again and everything, they step around the corner and I look at you and I go, who is that? Who is that?
Right.
I'm going to tell you.
And how do you ask them their name?
I'm going to tell you a hack how to get away from that. And the word insurrection is not being used. Why? Maybe because his left-wing protesters, riot police descent on Montana Capitol as left-wing protesters shut down proceedings at the Montana State Capitol. Isn't that insurrection? I believe when they interfere with the government proceedings. Also, Blinken and wife's emails with Hunter Biden raised some questions about the roll on his laptop. New evidence coming out this morning. And also Joe Biden in regards to saying they're not our kids anymore. Somebody from the text line says, well, Biden thinks all the kids are his because he's been all of the people. He may think he's responsible for the kids considering he's doing all of America. I've got those things coming up. And I just realized I forgot to do something. I've got to look at your computer so I can see if I did. No, I didn't. The cams are over on us, so they're getting to see our pretty face. And the text lines are open, 877-396-W105. We'll be back with more Being the Breakfast Club. Fox News now. Fox News brought to you by Roadrunner Grill. Breakfast all day long from 6 a.m. Coffee's only a bunch. Lunch buffet from 11 to 2. Taco bar, chicken, steak fingers every day, plus parties and catering available, plus delivery anywhere in city limits during the day. Roadrunner Grill, your Mexican dishes, seafood, including crab legs. Roadrunner Grill, and they also got alligator, and they don't overcook it. Tastes like real alligator, not like little rubber balls. And not just a hotel restaurant located inside the Best Western Inn, Pecos Inn. There you go, Roadrunner Grill. Some of the best food I've ever had. And I thank them for coming along, for being the Breakfast Club. We're back with more. Don't go away. Fox News now.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. The paperwork's filed, and President Biden's officially running for re-election. His campaign put out a video announcement this morning.
This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election.
Florida House Republican Corey Mills supports former President Trump's re-election.
We must have a Republican president who will hold our adversaries accountable, who will secure our border, which is a true human, national, and security crisis across the world, or across the United States.
He's on Fox Business. A civil trial against former President Trump starts today in New York.
Jury selection is set to begin in the case brought by author E. Jean Carroll, who said in 2019 that former President Trump raped her nearly 25 years before in a Manhattan department store dressing room.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers in New York. Trump says Carroll's story is not true. America's listening to Fox News.
Transform into bees, bats, and butterflies, and get your game on in the vibrant world of amazing pollinators at the Western Heritage Museum and Lee County Cowboy Hall of Fame. This bilingual, interactive exhibit features a maze, survival missions, games, and more. Amazing Pollinators is on display until May 14th at the Western Heritage Museum and Lee County Cowboy Hall of Fame on the campus of New Mexico Junior College.
Summer is fast approaching. Need a little bit of extra spending cash? Looking to stay busy and get out of the house this summer? Just want to spend your days hanging out at the pool? No matter what the reason is, the City of Hobbs has the perfect job for you. Apply now. You must be at least 16 years of age by the date of hire. Interviews starting soon. Most positions starting in the middle of May. Apply online at governmentjobs.com/careers/HobbsNM. The City of Hobbs is an equal opportunity employer and a drug and smoke-free workplace.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, no matter how many times I've washed it.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products. Save on Downy Rinse and Refresh at Target.
Easy Cater presents We've Got Your Back, Up Singers.
Backing you up
So I ordered Mexican for my team at work.
with vegetarian options for Jerry.
Then I'm in a meeting and I remember Jerry's vegan.
Love the cheese.
So I text Easy Cater and they reply, no prob, we got this.
Gonna fix it for ya.
Sometimes I get vegetarian and vegan confused, kind of like Austria and Australia.
Geography is not your strong suit.
Dietary needs? Easy Cater has your back with over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 on easycater.com and know.
We got your back.
This is Davis Smith, the Guerrilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
Calling all clay shooters. The best sporting clay shooters in southern New Mexico and West Texas will gather at the Inn of the Mountain Gods Casino and Resort in beautiful Mescalero, New Mexico on June 30th and July 1st for the 7th annual Aim High Shooting Competition to benefit ENMU Ruidoso. This year's 4-person team competition features 100 targets with side events for additional fees, plus a dinner and dance on Saturday evening, which will include an awards ceremony, raffles, and gun boards. All shooters will be entered to win a Beretta 686 Silver Pigeon over-under 12-gauge shotgun, plus your team could win prizes for scoring first or second place. Early registration is online now at scorechaser.com, and discount rooms and cabins are available. Call now to reserve your flat of ammunition and load up your side-by-side. Aim high. For more information, call Rhonda at 575-937-1475. That's 575-937-1475. This message is sponsored by the Ruidoso and Lincoln County Lodgers Tax Committees.
Hobbs, get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5 and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
Ladies, is your eyesight causing frustration every morning while applying makeup? Are you holding a cheap, distorted mirror up to the window trying your best to see? At Last, there's a better way. At Last Lighted Mirror and Grooming Tool. Men, this is for you too. Sharpen up your mustache, goatee, or beard because ladies love a well-groomed man. Local inventor Rebecca Long spent 5 years researching and designing the At Last Lighted Mirror and Grooming Tool. It has rechargeable LED lighting, 1, 5, and 10 times magnification mirrors, all in one for home and travel use. It comes with a USB charging cord, travel case, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and 1-year limited warranty. This is a must-see, so drop by 226 West Vega in Hobbs today for a free demonstration. Order online at atlastmakeupmirror.com or call 575-631-3189 today.
Here is your Liar Pants on Fire update.
Basically the same dose with a smaller dose.
Be in the Breakfast Club powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105.
All right, people, let's move it. Drive in today with the best damn morning show on earth.
It's Be at the Breakfast Club, your April 25th show, about 23 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock this morning. One of the things I wanted to recap, mark on your calendar, remember May the 12th and 13th, Limpy is back. The Godfather of Street Racing is going to be at the Hobbs Airfield Speedway. They are bringing their 505 drivers with him. Excuse me. Yep, that's what I was looking at. Small Tire and True Tire are both going to be running your daily driver. Only $125 buy-in. You can be part of this. It is a no-prep event, TNT Test and Tune on the 12th, and the back half race, May the 13th. Limpy is back. The Godfather Street Racing coming back to the Hobbs Airfield Speedway. And I can't wait for that event. That's on my calendar. Looking at the text line, hey guys, where can I find that stuff that Biden said about the kids? Yes. You can find it on Fox News is one of the places to find it. And he basically has made a decree that our children aren't ours. They belong to the country. They belong to everybody. I think that's actually called socialism. Also, in regards to the mayflies from the text line, they're very effective at controlling the mosquito population. So they apparently are mosquito hawks. I'm going to have to do some research, find out what a mayfly is. I'm going to say right off, I'm not familiar with that. And also from the text line, I'm driving Artesia Highway right now, rollover is there in the curve about 10 miles outside of Lovington. What did you get?
Well, we're working that wreck on 128 just outside of Ja. A lot of people call it the Ja Highway, but it's New Mexico 128. And what I've got is that state police are there now working that accident. Still no details on what has occurred, but state police are on the scene. That's all I'm getting from our sources right now. Russ.
So we'll keep you up to date on the traffic incidents as we get more details and more information from the text. This traffic update brought to you by Luke Ragsdale. If you're the leading accident lawyer in New Mexico involved in traffic or oil spill accidents, you call Luke. That's the person who gets the biggest settlements and works the hardest for you. Luke Ragsdale Law Firm, 600 North Pennsylvania, 208-5300, 208-5300. I had a call during the break, somebody that couldn't, wanted to talk about who the question of the day, the best movie villain in all times, and this is about the fourth vote that we've gotten for Bruce Dern from the Cowboys.
I can remember that.
Everybody hates Bruce Dern from the Cowboys. It was one of the most after somebody said that, I was thinking about the other villains I had in my mind. Mm-hmm. Bruce Dern outdoes them all. I mean, this is a loathful guy that picks on kids and is a killer. And, plus, my goodness, he killed John Wayne.
Killed John Wayne.
You can't kill the Duke. I don't think his career ever actually completely rebounded from that role. Mm-hmm. It took forever for Bruce Dern to get any parts as anything other than a bad guy.
His daughter, Lauren Dern, won the Academy Award a couple years ago, and her mother, of course, was the famous Diane Ladd. So
I didn't realize that was who her mom was. And an update on Morky and Porky. Yes, Morky and Porky all died in a tragic flood.
You never know; they may come back.
There you go. But it's a soap opera, so maybe their evil twin could come back.
Right. And Wes from the Packs was saying, "Hey guys, where can I find that crap Biden said that the kids aren't ours?"
That's what I was saying a while ago. That's on Fox News. It's one of the lead stories on Fox News. Currently, it's up on the main page.
And on the mayflies, this one texter says they're very effective in controlling mosquito population.
Yeah, I hit that one too, but you was out of the room. You didn't know. But yes, I did determine they are, some people refer to them as mosquito hawks.
Yeah. So it must be pretty big.
Midsummer, I wish we had more around here. It'd be better fishing, and we could get rid of our mosquitoes.
Texas says, "Can you believe that Fox News fired Tucker Carlson?"
We discussed that earlier. The leaving of first Dan Bongino and then Tucker Carlson. Not sure all the details on that. Of course, Fox News being pretty tight-lipped over it, but apparently the fallout of that lawsuit against Fox, where they had to pay a settlement. They didn't lose; they settled.
Right,
$700 and something million.
I always say they lost. I mean, when you got to pay out of your own pocket, then you lost something.
You lost, yeah. You didn't win.
You didn't win.
$720 million. You didn't win.
A lot of money.
But apparently, Tucker was heavily caught up in that, and this is some of the ramifications of it. But
another text says the mayfly larvae, they eat the mosquito larvae.
Oh, okay.
That's the way that works.
So maybe they're not tackling mosquitoes; they're just eating the larvae.
Guess so.
Now, I wanted to address something that we all do all the time.
Yeah.
Do you forget names?
All the time.
I am the worst, and I don't blame it on not being able to remember names. I blame it on being able to remember faces so well.
Mm.
And I'm one of those guys that if I met you at a radio remote 15 years ago, I remember meeting you. I remember your face, but I don't have the foggiest idea of what your name is. Yeah. Well, Reddit, one of my favorite sites for useless stuff, they put out a quick tip on how to get away from that. Now, it is awesome, but every now and then someone will ask something on social media and they'll come up with a brilliant response, and this is one I found that I thought was brilliant. Someone recently asked a question, how do you ask this girl I've known for months if her name is Aubrey or Audrey?
Okay.
And remember, I just be glad I remember the name started with an A.
I got how to do it.
Maybe you could ask someone else who might know her or get sneaky and find something with her name on it, but someone provided a great hack when the situation comes up and you forget someone's name. You should know it, but you're afraid to ask because that's going to be
embarrassing.
More embarrassing. And I had that happen recently with somebody I used to do sports with, like 15 years ago. And I walk up, and he recognized me and immediately called me by my name, started reminiscing about the game that we called together and everything. I couldn't remember who this guy was. Right. I couldn't remember the basketball name. I couldn't have told you the call letters for the radio station I was working at. And I'm like, who's this guy? I don't know who the hell this guy is.
So what'd you do?
Anyway, just out of the blue, asked them, wait, what's your name again? When they say,
right.
Dave, you say, oh, I know that. I mean your full name. When they say, Dave Smith, you can be like, right, sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
See, with me, Russ, it's hard to not remember Tom A.
Yeah, that's why you limit your name. It's short.
It's Tom A.
So.
No, you know what I would do if Aubrey and Audrey? Here's what I would do. You ready?
Right.
So how you doing? Oh, like I got distracted for a moment. Saying the name halfway. How you doing? Oh, there you go.
You could always just call them by the wrong name and see if they answered. You know, you keep throwing names out there. But really, they say it won't work in every situation, like with relatives or friends or spouses. But you just say, what was your name again?
Right.
And then they go, Dave, and give you that dumb look. You go, I know that, but I mean, like your full name. Dave Smith, right? But if it's somebody, you should know their real name, their last name too. What are you going to do?
Right. Well, what about when you go to a family reunion? You ain't been to a reunion in years, and all of a sudden these families grew and people got, married and stuff, and you don't know nobody. How do you handle that?
Well,
hey, cuz. Hey, primo.
Right. That's where you use, hey, bud. How you doing? How are you, bud?
Here's a bud for you.
You know what I honestly have done in the past? I remember somebody that I had interviewed that was a politician, and then I met him years later, and I couldn't remember his name for anything. And I looked at him, and I went, I'm stupid in between all the singers' names I have to remember and newscast and everything else and everything. I'm completely stupid. What's your name again? So that's what works for me, is admitting I'm a moron and get their name and go on. I guess this honesty's the best policy type of thing. And then you go,
oh, yeah, how you doing? Right?
Yeah, that works. Hey, you. Hey, you.
I look like a you to you.
Brian Simmons says family reunions is the best place to pick up chicks.
Cousins?
That's right. I didn't even know Brian was from Tennessee. I didn't even. Damn, Tom, step up your game and something to the show besides reading the text already read. That's all. All he needs to do. So I don't want to steal your thunder from the text line. Text lines are open 877-396-W105.
I have a slogan for that. A friend came up with a couple of nights we were doing the tournament there in Hobbs. By the way, congratulations to the Hobbs Softball Association. They did a great job of putting on that tournament, players and everybody else and referees. But anyway, we were talking one night in between ball games, and Chris said something funny that today is so funny. And I told him, buddy, you got to work on this thing. It's a slogan. He invented it, right? I ain't going to tell you what it is, but it was funny.
So you let in that you got a slogan that was funny, but you're not going to tell us the slogan.
No.
Well, thanks.
But I all of a sudden I'm gotten used to saying that to people who want to dish me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
is it anything like "kiss my foot"?
No, nothing like that.
Well, one of the words that everybody's been using so much this year: insurrection. Riot police descend on Montana Capitol as left-wing protesters shut down the proceeding. Riot police were dispatched to Montana Capitol. A left-wing protest group supporting transgender lawmaker Zooey Zafar. Is it Zoe or Zooey?
Zoe.
Zooey. That'd be Zoe.
Well, Zoe. Yeah, Zoe.
To me, it looks like Zooey. I would say there's one O in Zoe, but anyway. A Democrat who caused the body last week, multiple reports said that had complained and caused disruption in the Montana State House. They were fighting a bill that had to do with parental rights, and the left-wing protest group completely took over the Montana Capitol. Riot police had to be called. This story has gotten 0 minutes on anything but Fox News. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, no one has given this story any time whatsoever after riot police being called to the state capitol. Why? Why is this not the lead story all over? I bet if it had been a right-wing conservative parent group waving flags and they had been there to disrupt the proceedings in the Montana Capitol and riot police would have been called, do you think that would have made the stories on the other media outlets? I would probably think so. That's one of the stories being ignored. And also, do you remember being the old newsman, the Fairway rapes?
I don't remember those.
Well, they used DNA, and this is, some people said the whole being able to track your relatives to your DNA was going to be a boon for the FBI. Well, apparently it has been, because it's something that criminals don't realize you can do through DNA, and that's the interesting part of this story. DNA on a coffee cup has linked a Michigan businessman to a pair of decade-old rapes on a golf course, including one at the State Penn University. Kirk Allen Relma is 51. He's from West Bloomfield. He's charged with sexually assaulting a woman at Twin Lakes Golf Club in 1999, and then another university woman a year later who was jogging in the golf course area. They actually caught him through authorities obtained DNA evidence from both rapes. It was located and combed with the DNA index system that is designed to take the DNA you have, and then it hooks it with relatives that are used on some of the sites that trace your relatives through your DNA. Right. They use that to hook that DNA down to possible residents of that area, then tied it through. One of his brothers had used one of those sites to try to track his family heritage, and they connected it with him through that. So if his brother had never used that, they would have never been able to find that one DNA strain in the family heritage. But they said it had to be one of these three brothers, so they just police surveilled them. They caught the suspect throwing away a coffee cup. They obtained it and run his DNA on it. Now he's been has been charged with the crime first and second degree felony sexual conduct, and he'll also be charged with felony counts of rape and sexual assault, aggravated indecent assault, and many other charges. See that. All because his brother used a site to have his family heritage.
My goodness.
I didn't realize police can do that, but they can do that now. So they cleared up a decades old.
Well, did you know my brother, Dave, the one who lives in Waco, right, decided to trace our family history. Boy, was he surprised about what he found out. Did I tell you the story?
No, I haven't, but I guess we're going to hear it.
Well, anyways,
what does your family heritage track down to?
Well, so he began tracing our roots and stuff, and we're tied into the artist, the famous artist Pablo, what's his name?
Picasso?
Yeah. We're tied into that guy. No wonder we're all artists, you know. So, but anyway, he tied the DNA to this girl in Los Angeles. She's about 54. She's 2 years younger than my sister, right? My sister lives in San Diego. So tied her to Los Angeles, and it seems like she's an illegitimate child. She's her half-sister. Apparently, old man was catting around.
Ooh. Ooh.
Right.
Dad was active, right?
Either a Rolling Stone. Damn sure was.
There you go. Well.
So I asked my brother.
You look hard enough in the woodpile, you'd be surprised what you find.
Right. So we have a half-sister in Los Angeles. It makes sense because his girlfriends were in L.A. or from Southern Cal. And more than
you
one.
may have more sisters and relatives running around there than you think.
Oh, yeah. But anyway.
See somebody now, you better not hit the lottery. You'll find out you got 43 brothers. I understand.
So I got another sister out there somewhere, apparently.
You're not trying to track her down?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So have you got any?
No, I pretty well know where all my family's at.
So what did they trace your
I don't know.
family
I'm not sure if my family tree forks. So I mean,
so what do you trace to?
I'm
famous?
All my family tree traces back to Englishmen and Germans.
Oh, okay.
I got one grandma that's in there that was supposed to be quarter Indian or half Indian or something like that. I mean, look at me, man. I go to a family reunion. Looks like one of Hitler's dreams. It's just a bunch of German-looking white boys running around there, square jaw lines, little square faces. Yes,
Right.
looks like a master race.
Black is your real name or your stage name?
No, Black is an adopted name.
Okay.
I was born Russell Dean Nicholson.
Nicholson. Okay.
And I just admitted something to the world that, I mean, very, very few people know. But, yes.
Nicholson.
And then it went from Russell Nicholson. I was adopted, and it was Russell Fairweather for a while. When I was really young, I went by the nickname Stormy.
Right.
And then it was officially changed to
Russell Black.
Russell Black. Had to do with marriages. But my God-given name is Russell Nicholson. Thank you for bearing my soul. Looking at some of the news stories out there, I did find a breaking news story. American Airlines flight from Columbus, Ohio to Phoenix made an emergency landing after a bird strike.
Uh-oh.
So apparently the birds are demanding more money and better working conditions.
Those are more common than you think, right?
Actually, the plane landed safely, and they said there was no injuries, except the birds. Birds didn't do well. So
That's right. Hey, by the way,
this little piece of news brought to you real quick by Rig Outfitters, the home store located in the Broadmoor Mall. Extensive collection of FR jeans, coveralls, gloves, shirts, Coast other oil field gear like hard hats, work boots, steel toed, safety gear, furniture, appliances, electronics, zero down financing, and so much more. And located next to Rig Outfitters in Broadmoor Mall, the largest selection of medical scrubs in 100 miles. Scrub Outfitters, your favorite scrub brand names from Healing Hands, Med Couture, and Peaches. In addition to scrubs, they also have your specialized medical shoes and equipment, compression stuff, stethoscopes, and so much more. Rig and Scrub Outfitters. Thank Joe for coming along and being part of B and the Breakfast Club. Text lines open 877-396-W105.
Hey, texter says, does that mean that Russ is now kin to Joe Black? Says the texter. Remember, he was in the movie.
The Meet Joe Black?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Joe Black. He's boring. I mean, that movie just went on and on and on and on. There you
Russ, it says the text, is the
most interesting man alive. Give me a break. I think that meant sarcastically. So.
And Tom's apple fell far from the family tree, says the texter. Another one says, Tom's family is tied into the movie Dumb
and Dumber. You ever heard the most irritating sound in the world?
Mm-hmm. And tell Brian, he was a weird nephew, says the texter. He's always been a weird nephew. Okay. Huh. And did you watch the Back to the Future franchise movie?
Yes, I've actually seen all of those.
Well,
I thought those were very good.
Best villain was Biff from Back to the Future.
Biff from Back in the Future. He was pretty despicable. I'll give you that. The question of the day, if you're just joining us, 877-396-W105, what is the best movie villain ever? Best movie villain ever. My wife, when I said that, she looked at me, she said, well, Pontius Pilate was pretty bad in the Ten Commandments, I guess.
You're a bad dude.
I was like, okay, that's an educated woman talking. She pulls out Pontius Pilate. And I'm like, okay, I'm not smart enough to be with you. But anyway.
You ever play chess with her?
Yes, I can beat her at that. I can
Now,
beat her.
you're
at
like
that.
a master chef guy, right?
No, I used to play some tournament chess, and I was Class A rated, which is like 1800, but that's not anywhere. It's not anywhere close to Masters. No, that's not anything I did. I just played a little chess. By the way, one story I wanted to get to real quick. Did you get we talked about this yesterday, did you get the emergency text the other night at 12:30 from the National Weather Service that set off all the phones? It was for a weather alert that was like in El Paso. Well, that wasn't a bad one. The worst one, and we talked about this on the show yesterday, the entire state of Florida was woken up by one of those tests that you can't get away from.
Right.
4:45 in the morning, and then it's not even an alert. You get woke up and you look, and it's a test. Okay? You remember Ron DeSantis saying whoever's responsible for this is going to lose their job? We was wondering whether he had that power or not. He's got that power.
I bet he does.
It wasn't just a person. He fired the entire company.
Did he really?
There's a company that is called Whoop, which is a good name for what they did. WHOOPS, company behind the early morning emergency alert that woke up millions. They put out a message of apology. If you or anyone you know was awakened by the test alert on your phone at 4:45 a.m. on Thursday, April the 20th, I'm sorry, said CEO David Wagner, wrote a letter. It should not have happened. The alert to test the emergency alert system was sent to Florida residents with smartphones. It started immediate uproar. The governor actually gave a speech about this subject. I mean, not just something he mentioned in another speech. He come out and I want to talk about this. A governor, he was a little upset. I have a feeling it disturbed him. This is a test of the emergency alert system. No action is required. The alert read at 4:45 in the morning. Wagner went on to say it was through human error, and in violation of a number of routine precautionary steps that should have kept this from ever happening. Well, apparently they won't make the same mistake again because the Florida governor fired him. He fired the entire company and canceled their contract, and will now go with a new Florida division of emergency management, FDEM, who also apologized for overseeing it, but basically they will take over the full application of all emergency services. So you find out Florida had a government agency that was supposed to be taking care of that, but they contracted the duties out to a secondary private company, and the private company has now been fired.
Wow.
So
isn't that crazy?
Very, very bad button to be. And speaking of being fired, do you know, this is something you may actually know something about, Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, I have that story right away. Seems like he was traded from the Green Bay Packers to the New York Jets for a couple of picks. That had been rumored this was going to happen ever since the end of the football season. And so he is going to be New York Jets. Now, everybody thought, well, he wore number 12 in Green Bay for 16 years. Is he going to wear the legendary number 12 that Joe Namath used in his career at
thought that number was retired.
It is. But he said, no, you got to respect the legend. He's going to start wearing number 8, which he wore in college. So he's going to the Jets. So, but look, Russ, he's 38 years old, right? I mean, at 38 years old, I guess if you're a good athlete, you're still thinking of playing. But me, at 38 years old, Plus,
well,
he can run. He's got good legs.
Aaron's got a lot of play left in him, I believe. But I think it's his off-the-field antics that he just wasn't a Green Bay style quarterback.
No.
But I'll tell you what, he better get. If he's leaving that Green Bay front line and going to the Jets, a bigger flak jacket.
You know that's coming.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get rattled around this year. So Aaron Rodgers is out, along with Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon. So.
All looking for news. But he's got a job there. I think he's got a $112 million deal from the Jets.
Oh, well, Aaron Rodgers is just waiting for his step to step into the announcer's booth anyway.
I wouldn't doubt he just spends 1 year there, dude.
And then one other news story I wanted to get to, and we've got to get to our good news of the day and our boob of the day. That's what we need to do, our boob of the day. And our boob of the day brought to you by, well, I've got to get the right card, Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. Is that right? 3 medical professionals on staff, almost 70 years of experience. They offer functional medicine such as natural supplement, stem cells, therapy, ozone therapy, hormone optimization. Desert Functional Medicine believes in treating the root cause of the problem, not just numbing the symptoms. That would be different. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. 3900 North Lovington Highway, Suite 550 in Lovington. Desert Functional Medicine and Aesthetics. They bring you the boob of the day. Well, today the main thing with the boob of the day was trying to find just one. But I think I did pretty good. Man in Arkansas was arrested last week for felony ear piercing because he pierced his teenage son's ear. The kid showed up at school last Thursday with his left ear pierced. He told his friends that his dad got drunk, put him in a chokehold, and shoved the needle in his ear. Teacher overheard it and reported it to school officials. The cops later showed up at the family house where the father, Jamie Sterling, admitted to piercing his son's ear, but refused to let them ask any further questions or talk to his son. The cops spoke to prosecutors and were told they could arrest Jeremy under laws in Arkansas of unlicensed body art.
Oh, really?
Couldn't get him for assault for doing it to his kid. They get him for unlicensed body art on a person under 16 and in a unlicensed facility. The man refused arrest, so 4 officers had to forcibly take him into custody. I wonder if they pierced his ear when they had him down. The scuffle was caught on camera by his son, who is heard saying that he wanted his ear pierced. That's what he said. Then he posted it on TikTok with the caption, "I pierced my ear a year ago," and he got arrested because of it. So it turned up, it wasn't even a true story. He had pierced his ear a year ago. He made up the whole story about his dad getting arrested. Seems like this kid has a lot of varying stories about how his ear got pierced. Maybe his friends was giving him a hard time about the piercing, so he just wanted to sound cool, but the cops probably didn't like what they did because they ended up filing charges on Jeremy for filing a false report. He never called the police. The teacher called the police.
Right.
So the dad did nothing, and the son just told a lie to some of his friends at school, and some busybody teacher overheard it and decided to take it on their behalf to call the police in for their family for an investigation. I'm not sure what the boob of the day is, Jeremy, his dad, or whatever teacher decided to stick her big nose in this. So
either one will work.
Maybe the people that couldn't tell that ear piercing was about a year old. There you go. I think you've got your choice of who is your boob of the day on this one. There you go. Boob of the day brought to you by Desert Functional Medicine. So there you go. About 5 minutes in front of the hour of 9 o'clock. Text lines are open, 877-396-9105, 877-396-W105. What do you got?
Well, I haven't heard a texter ask about Kevin, but how is he doing? Asked the texter.
There is a video posted on his Facebook page. He made his second in-hospital video. Doing quite a bit better. The fluid has been drained from his lungs, and the other problems associated with laying in bed for so long have been corrected. He's no longer on a catheter. I believe in the video, from what's said to me, he is still on IVs, but he does seem to be recovering much better and much more chipper.
Right.
When he's making his video. And you can go check out his video, Kevin Bonner at Facebook.
That's good news, though, Russ, because, for a while it was touch and go with him.
And the reason Will Rooney is not with us today, Will is fine. Matter of fact, Will is beside himself, wishing he could get in on the show. But no, it was just an internet problem at his residence, either in the Hobbs area or his neighborhood, or just from his home. We don't know why, but he's not able to join us through Skype today.
Hey, by the way, that teacher's name was Karen.
Yeah, that teacher's name must have been Karen, from what I can tell. Javier Bardem.
Who's that, Javier?
I don't know what that is. Oh, Bruce Dern. He was talking about the villains.
Okay.
Villains from the deal, and this same person earlier had said Bruce Dern. So, most hated villain, Bruce Dern from John Wayne's The Cowboys.
Again, I don't know.
I mean, it's like, I guess we're going to have to give him the prize. So, because nobody said Darth Vader. See, when I put that question down, I figured Will was going to be here when I did that question last night. And I thought, I know who he's going to be. It's going to be like a bevy of, Darth Vader, Jabba the Hutt, all these
crazy villains.
And let's see, best movie villain, The Predator.
I like that one.
From the movie Predator.
Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in that movie.
Yes.
Along with the other guy. What was his name? Right.
Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. There you go.
Yep.
All I want is, why can't I get some dolphins with some laser beams on their head?
Gonna happen.
One of my favorite movies. Let's go to the phone lines. You're on Being the Breakfast Club. Good morning. Wait.
The man who shot Liberty Valance.
Liberty Valance. Ooh, what a great villain.
Who was the movie star?
He's a good bad guy. Yes.
For some reason, I'm having problems with the name.
Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin.
That's right.
Lee Marvin, who was actually, the stories on Lee Marvin, almost every one of his movie parts he played was always bad guys, except the movie Cat Blue, which he played a comedy drunk bad guy. But he was actually one of John Wayne's closest friends. They said was one of the most nicest, charitable, best men in Hollywood. And he always
He's
played.
a real man. Yeah. He's a tough guy.
Always played tough, bad guy parts, and they said he was one of the nicest, sweetest guys in Hollywood. But great villain, great choice. Thanks for calling.
You know, my movie I liked him in, Russ?
What?
The Dirty Dozen.
The Dirty Dozen, great movie. Ultimate tough guy.
Yeah.
Ultimate tough. And that whole movie full of ultimate tough guys. I mean, got Lee Marvin, Charles Bronson.
Jim Brown,
Clint Walker. It was Telly Savalas. It's just like a cavalcade of the toughest guys in Hollywood got
who was
together.
in that movie? A famous quote. Are you ready for this? Identify the actor, all right?
Okay.
So he's one of the nerdy soldiers on that group, right? And they get him to inspect the troops.
Donald Sutherland, my favorite character in the whole movie.
What was the famous quote? You ready?
Something to do with a general or something.
No, so he's inspecting it, and he stops to talk to one of the soldiers. So, where are you from, son? And he says, Wisconsin. And then Donald says, never heard of it.
Never. How about Stefano DiMera?
Yes, Days of My Lives.
For some reason, I knew that you would know what soap opera that was and everything. Stefano, pretty good deal. How about I don't know? Would you call the guy from The Sopranos, Tony Soprano?
Yeah.
Would you call him a villain?
He was a villain. He's a quiet villain.
Shot one of his best friends with a shotgun. Shot Rockhound with a shotgun. So, how about Dark Helmet and Meatballs? There you go.
Oh, that was
there
funny.
you go. That's an ultimate villain right there. The Dark Helmet from Meatballs. So, I have one more stupid criminal that I want to throw in here. We're coming up on our 9 o'clock hour. We've got a quick break for local news coming up, and then we'll come back afterwards. We've still got your good news story of the day, and I want to tell you about a guy who got arrested because his chili powder tested positive for heroin. I don't know how you forget that. And 50% of us have at least one online friend who we've never met. We'll talk about what relationships with online people we don't. And then a news story that I'm going to straighten out because all the news media are carrying this story as man sucker punches woman during Earth Day event feet away from Mayor Adams. It's not what happened. You need to watch the whole video. Yeah, this man hit this woman after she come up to him with her sign and the other thing she had with her hand, and she had just got through wailing on somebody with it, and they let her slide because she's a woman,
right,
and she's acting like a moron. And then she turns around to this guy during the protest, goes to hit him with what looks like a stuffed fish, and he reaches out and goes and slaps her on her. Everybody's carrying this as man sucker punches woman. I thought man defends himself from woman who put herself in man's place and got tattooed. Anyway, I've got that news story coming up. Right now, details of local news coming up. Local news this hour brought to you by All American Cleaners. We're their family, and they treat you and their customers like family. Wash and pole, 17 pounds for just $16.99. Serving Roswell, Artesia, Carlsbad, Leamington, Hobbs, Eunice, and Andrews. Ask about their tech services to alert you when your laundry is ready. It's All American Cleaners. They bring you your local news at 9:03 on W105. We'll be right back with more on Being the Breakfast Club. Text lines open, 877-396-W105.
Local news brought to you by M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump Services in Lovington, owned, operated, and serving the community for over 30 years. Call 575-390-4446.
Make M&W Waterwell Drilling and Pump of Lovington your domestic well specialist. Owner-operated with 30-plus years of experience, specializing in complete water systems for new home construction, domestic well drilling, as well as replacement wells and servicing all makes and models of water systems, including variable speed drive and constant water pressure systems. Call M&W Waterwell Drilling and Pump today at 575-390-4446. That's M&W Waterwell Drilling and Pump. Hometown quality you can depend on.
MTD Radio News, I'm Joe Miller. Well, Christopher Adam Jensen Tanner, owner and president of Roswell Escrow Services, set to plead guilty tomorrow to wire fraud and engaging in monetary transaction and property derived from specified unlawful activity. Officials say Jensen Tanner, accused of using his position at the company to fraudulently direct funds for his personal benefit. Anyone who believes they are a victim of the fraud are encouraged to contact the FBI tip line. Officials say any victims who wish to attend the plea hearing can reach out to the victim specialist, in the case Jackie Gutierrez. Rocketry teams from around Mexico gathering this week annually to test their science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills by sending rockets into the sky. There are two categories teams compete in. In the first, one of the Hobbs High School teams are building for the challenge is to send a rocket 1 mile into the air carrying a 1-pound payload. The other challenge is for students typically during their second year in the Systems Go program to build a rocket that'll break the speed of sound. State representatives from Eddy and Lee counties remain determined to find a permanent fix for lost tax revenue after Governor Grisham vetoed a measure that would have provided a temporary fix. So says State Rep. Catherine Brown, who briefed the Eddy County Board of County Commissioners April 15 on happenings during the 60-day New Mexico legislative session that began in January, concluding in March. Governor vetoed a bill which would have provided $25 million to the city of Carlsbad for lost gross receipt tax funds to pay for certain municipal services. That's what's happening. I'm Joe Miller, MTD Radio News.
This is Daniel Velos, General Manager, Carlsbad Chevrolet, asking you to push it, pull it, and drag those old cars from your driveway. Heck, the old cars you left in mom or grandma's driveway. If you have a title, they can be worth $3,000 on this program. We've dragged in a scrap bin to the front of our lot to send those suckers right to the boneyard. This program was made for people like you and me, and I'm going to help you take advantage. Right here at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal Street in Carlsbad. Also, like us on Facebook for service and parts specials throughout the month.
The global demand for oil and natural gas is growing, and leaders are looking to American producers to satisfy that demand with the abundant resources available in our country. If you're passionate about keeping energy affordable for your neighbor and reliable for everyone, then it's time you consider a career in oil and natural gas. Coterra Energy is expanding their Permian team and is offering an unmatched employee benefits package. If you're interested in applying, text Coterra to 71441. That's COTERRA to 71441. Coterra Energy is an equal opportunity employer. Reading Under the Lights is happening Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium. There'll be free food, books, and other fun activities for the kids to enjoy. Bring out the whole family. Reading stations featuring Hobbs Fire, Police, Lee County Sheriffs, and NMJC basketball from 5 to 6 p.m. Then from 6 to 7, reading and special guest speaker, 2017 Super Bowl champion and children's book author Malcolm Mitchell, and book signing with an autograph session from 7 to 8. Come out and support the first ever Reading Under the Lights, Saturday, April 29th at Hobbs High School's Watson Memorial Stadium at 5 p.m. Brought to you by the United Way of Lee County, Hobbs Municipal Schools, and the J.F. Maddox Foundation.
Hobbs, get ready as 505 Productions is back this weekend with their huge gun and knife show. In fact, the largest 505 has ever had in Hobbs at the Lee County Event Center. This Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 5, and Sunday, April 30th from 10 to 4. 150 tables available to shop with guns, knives, ammo, scopes, and other gun accessories, jewelry, hides, gold and silver, plenty of 2A shirts and merch, and much more. That's 60 tables of just guns and ammo. Admission is just $7 per day or $10 for the weekend. Kids under 12 are free. Don't miss the 505 Productions Gun Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Lee County Event Center, 5101 North Lovington Highway in Hobbs.
This is Davis Smith, the Guerrilla Lawyer, and I'm talking to you from my office on 3130 North Grimes in Hobbs, New Mexico. Our office has exploded with new clients. And do you know why? Fast settlements, fantastic customer service, and man, we love paying our clients money. If you get injured in a car wreck, you come see the Gorilla. Remember, if you get injured, you get the Gorilla.
Visit 3130 North Grimes or call 575-964-2720. That's 964-2720.
When a home gets destroyed, it can be devastating. All you want is your home back the way it was before. With guaranteed replacement cost, if your home has to be rebuilt, farmers will pay the full cost regardless of your limits. It's just one of the many Farmers Policy perks. Call Herschel Ruston Hayes at 575-396-0513 to learn more or get a quote.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Rio Grace Landscaping of Lovington is open for business at their new location, just north of Lovington on the Tatum Highway at 4 Crockett Road. You can find fruit, shade, and flowering trees as well as hydrangea, roses, lavender, and so much more. Find your fire pits and hot tubs, all proudly made in the USA. Open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday and on Sunday by appointment. Call the landscape experts today at 575-396-7464. Rio Grace Landscaping, your ultimate service garden center and landscape professionals.
Here is your Liar Liar Pants on Fire update.
Guess what? 500 million people have watched what I've done out of my basement.
Be in the Breakfast Club, powered by Carlsbad Chevrolet, and broadcasting from the Inn of the Mountain Gods studio. Text line at 877-396-W105.
The most annoying man in the history of planet Earth is on the air.
No, he's not. We wish he was back with us. We're waiting on our update from Kevin B. The latest update we have is a video that he posted online, and he actually posted it as his day 2 broadcast from the hospital, and apparently he is in much chipper mood. The procedures to drain the fluid from his lungs was successful, and he's undergoing his other procedures, and we should get a update on him. Be watching his Facebook page, Kevin Bonner at Facebook. I expect him to call in today, Tom. He didn't make it in. I bet he was in the middle of a procedure. So it being
big
so
old
late.
needle stuck in his lungs, right?
They drained with a pair. They went into the pleural sac, which is the surrounding sac that's around your lungs.
Yeah.
And he had fluid in between the lung and the pleural sac, which is basically a pneumonia condition. And they physically drew that fluid off of his lung.
The fluid out, yeah.
So
why does that happen, right? You're a little pre-med guy. I mean, when you have an accident like that, how do you develop fluid?
He obviously, a lot of that has to do with your breathing and the fact that this mucus and inflammation will build up in the lungs due to not being able to de-exhale on that side. Kind of over my head, you said pre-med guy. That's what I mean. I'm an EMT, dude. I know that there's fluid on the lungs.
Right.
It obviously come from the damage on that side from the broken ribs.
But I watched a documentary a few years ago on this, and you couldn't believe, and now I know that Kevin does, how strong and sturdy your body is. It's going to take a lot, like maybe a bomb blowing you up, but how sturdy the human body is to survive accidents.
Well, it
like
is
that.
amazing how fast we can heal and how much punishment the human body can take. But at his age, he took a bunch. And he's having a lot of extreme pain with his neck and the part of his body that it was fused together. It was damage and injury. So we'll get any other updates we get. And again, go to Kevin Bonner at Facebook.
And I'm hoping, and I'm sure he's hoping too, that he'll be back in June here to Lovington.
He may be back sooner. I would figure after this, if he was coming back to see his doctors here, as soon as he's able to travel, he would accelerate his trip back to the United States. Then again, it could go the other way. So we don't know. These are the updates we're looking for.
And we thank you for your thoughts.
And a breaking story, and Kevin be mad at me if I didn't cover this. Fox News this morning, Biden administration quietly planning for a future where you don't own money.
Okay.
Under the leadership of Joe Biden, the White House Federal Reserve started to lay groundwork for a programmable, trackable, easily manipulated digital currency. It may sound like something from a science fiction novel, but it's actually too real. In March 2022, the Biden administration released a sweeping executive order that directed numerous federal agencies to crack down on digital assets, including popular cryptocurrencies. The study was to develop a central bank digital currency. That's what the Biden administration is calling their wishes, is to establish a central bank digital currency, CBDC. It would not be a digital version of existing paper-based money, but rather an entire new currency that would exist exclusively in digital, meaning electronic, non-physical form. And now they've uncovered some actions and some plans and documents from the Biden administration. That's what the end game for the Democratic Party and everything is. They want our guns first. Because then if they take all of our guns, it's so much easier to control the people.
And you're going to get the guns.
Then they want to change all of our currency from money you can hold in your hand, keep, or store at your house to a digital currency that would be controlled by the government and the banks. Does this sound like a good thing? Remember, your children's not your children. They belong to us, and your money's not your money. That's going to belong to us, too. We'll tell you how much digitally you can get.
Heading toward a train wreck, aren't we? Hey, by the way,
Biden also directed the leadership of the National Economic Council, National Security Council, Office of Science and Technology, Police, and the Treasury Department to meet regularly with the Federal Reserve to further design the potential CBDC. So this is happening right now. This is under presidential order. The president has ordered the Federal Reserve to try to eliminate money and make us all under digital currency.
Didn't someone say that? George Orwell in 1984?
This is starting to sound awful Orwellian to me.
Yeah.
It is.
Sure is.
Hey, go ahead.
No, you finish your thought.
I was just going to recap some of the other breaking stories we had before we moved on to our good news of the day.
Well, not breaking story, but it is a story coming out of Roswell this morning that Mayor Tim Jennings, who was also the former state senator for Roswell for 32 years, says he will not be seeking that position. A few weeks ago, Cliff Purtle announced the current seat. He said he will not be seeking that seat again, and there was talk that maybe Tim would go after it, but he's not. He said, I got too many commitments here in the city of Roswell, too many things to do. The people of Roswell elected me to do that for them, and that's where I'm going to stay. Now, Candy Spencer-Zell announced last week that she was running for that position.
So Cliff Purtle's not stepping down?
No, Cliff Purtle resigned. No, he ain't.
Okay.
He's not going to
okay, you confused me there.
He's not running again for that office. He's had some issues.
But Candy Spencer-Zell now wants that position.
Nobody else has announced whether they're going to be running at that position, but it's early.
Just go ahead and start the cakewalk and give it to her.
I guess so.
And we made it. I wanted to recap this. We made national news with the story we've been talking about. Remember, I started talking about this 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mysterious death of 6 cattle in Texas Park. UFO fears. Something strange is happening. UFO investigators speaking out about strange things happening in Texas after several cattle found dead with their tongues removed in 3 separate counties. So apparently what they're trying to say is these could be UFOs, and that obviously means that aliens like barbacoa.
You think?
That's what it is. Tom Doley, a lead investigator in the TV show UFO Seekers, said he wouldn't too surprised to hear about the 6 cattle found mutilated. That's been going on since the 70s. Now New Mexico State police officers are getting into this. He shared a story about Gabe Valdez in New Mexico State Police, who reportedly saw a UFO-like object while investigating the case of the mutilated cows.
Right.
So there's more on the mutilated cows on Fox News. So UFOs, aliens that obviously like barbacoa because they're taking the tails.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or they're making menudo. One of the two. But anyway.
Now, have you ever worked in a slaughterhouse?
No.
No?
No,
So,
couldn't get me to do that.
So what is happening to these cows is not even compared to how they slaughter the cows at the slaughter plants?
I have no idea. Not anything like that. The slaughter plants, I think they use like a
Jackhammer?
A machine that simulates like a gunshot and it shoots a rod. And I don't know.
Huh.
Man, I know.
I was kind of thinking about the other day.
I can make them things come out perfectly medium rare. And I can work them when they're on their feet, when they're cows.
Right.
But once they load them and take them to the plant, I'm done. If it can't be done on a horse, I don't have anything to do with it. So I do have to get to some people real quick before we get to our good news of the day. I wanted to thank Rebecca Long for inventing the Atlas makeup mirror. Has made every woman in my life so happy because that's my standard go-to gift because you're not going to find anything better, not just for gals, but for guys too. If you want to look right, be sure you can trim what you can see. You need a good mirror. If you're tired of trying to put on your makeup or do the up-close personal things on your face with terrible lighting or bad mirrors, you need the Atlas makeup mirror with 1.5 and 10 magnification, the perfect design, bright LED, black and white, plastic diamond finish. It's completely rechargeable, uses a standard USB charging cord, and they only weighs 4 pounds, so easily transported, but at the same time, such a great, sturdy, and large mirror where you can see everything. It is one of the best inventions and one of the best gifts that you can get for that special someone. They're going to love this. It's the Atlas Makeup Mirror. AtlasMakeupMirror.com. Go see Rebecca Long. Her office is 226 West Vega Drive. You can dial 631-3189, 631-3189, the Atlas Makeup Mirror. And I thank them for coming along for B and the Breakfast Club. Text lines open 877-396-W105. What else you got, Tom?
And Dexter says, do you guys have anything yet on that accident on 128? Traffic is at a standstill. Don't have anything yet. I do know that state police are at the scene investigating that accident. So, well, I hope we get some more before we get off the air. We'll get it to you. Hey, barbacoa comes from the head.
I know. I didn't know whether it come from. I know it comes from some part of the head, the mouth, or something. So,
and Richard Jordan played Hawk in Rooster Cogburn. Now, there was 2 Rooster Cogburn movies. Did you know that? True Grit,
where he played the character named Rooster Cogburn, and then you had Rooster Cogburn.
Who? And what's her name? Played opposite of him in that movie.
Katharine Hepburn.
Yep.
Don't ask me where I pulled that from.
You pulled it out, though, that's for sure.
And then Biden is doing this because the dollar will be replaced by global currency. That's basically the story we was talking about. That's what they're wanting to work on, so we can have, the global world, one world order. Well, then we'd all have to be on the same digital currency because otherwise you'd have rate of exchange. That's the first steps. But actually the first step is taking our guns away from us. That way we don't have anything we can do when they suddenly decide they want your money out of your bank account because you said the wrong thing on Twitter or something.
One of the other things that happened too, Russ, was that they removed the European currency for each country and then made it a national coin, a national currency called euro. Remember that?
Yep.
And so everybody says, uh-oh, that's the beginning of a train wreck. And it's in the Bible, Jeff Rose says, the mark of the beast.
The mark of the beast.
Yeah.
But you can check this out on Fox. You want to read more on the story because I'm running out of time here. I only have 8 minutes. But the Biden administration is quietly planning for a future where we don't have money, don't have guns, don't have rights. And remember, our children don't belong to us. We discussed that earlier. He flat said the children belong to the nation.
Well, he also said something conflicting about that other one as well, is that every day we're losing our rights. We're losing this, losing that. Come on. Because you're taking them away, that's why.
That's what I've tried to say a long time ago. Whatever the Republican Party and this administration is accusing Republicans of, that's what they're doing. And later, tune in. Tom will probably recap the Yankees and Phillies minor league coaches get into a massive fight after a batter was plunked, and it turned into one of the biggest baseball brawls you've ever seen in your life. I'll cap that story. That's a breaking headline We'll do that later this afternoon. Coming up on your good news story of the day, but first, let me thank Zia Guns for coming along and being part of Being the Breakfast Club. Over 1,000 firearms in stock, handguns, rifles, and they take the time to get the right gun, trade in and trades up. And ladies are encouraged to come in and visit them and see the specialized stock they have in grip sizes and styles for ladies. It's all your shooting needs. Zia Guns. Stop in and see their expert staff. Zia Guns. Customer satisfaction is their key. 1907 North Main Street, right there in Roswell. What do you got from the text line?
All right, so Tom Poe, says the texter, I think that's his name. Bloodsport and a kickboxer, he says.
Tom Poe.
Mm-hmm. Tom Poe.
I'm not familiar with those movies. I didn't watch those as much. I just got in on the tail end of the conversation. Not sure what y'all talking about. The Fed now, if you look it up, but that was a story I had yesterday. Federal Reserve planning another 25 point rate hike to try to deal with inflation, because making it harder and more expensive to loan and borrow money is always going to help with inflation, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're in upside down world.
It is. And exactly which Kevin B. Facebook do I need to look out?
Kevin B. at Facebook. Okay. And from there, you should have any links over for any of his other pages. Let's see. Also, we're coming up on our good news of the day. Good news of the day brought to you by Herschel Rustin Hayes, 1109 West Avenue D in Lebanon. Your home, auto, life, commercial insurance. A local guy I've only known since he was running around in diapers. One of those guys that really cares about our community, hometown guy, and cares about the people. This is one of the reasons why, and also I wanted to thank Rustin for being one of the first people to show up here at the station and wanted to help and donate and help with Kevin B. and his recovery. Just a great guy. Herschel Rustin Hayes, 1109 West Avenue D in Lovington. Farmers Insurance, they know a thing or two. And he brings you the good news of the day. Where is my button? There it is. Okay, your good news of the day, and these are some stories making the rounds. A state trooper in Utah got into a head-on crash on purpose to stop a wrong-way driver. 62-year-old driver had suffered minor injuries, but he'll be okay, and the trooper wasn't hurt. Apparently, the driver was actually going at a slower speed and had a medical problem, so the state police officer crashed into him to stop him. That's pretty brave. And a vet in Pennsylvania saved a poodle named Totals after it somehow overdosed on opioids. They gave him Narcan, and he's already made a full recovery. Sounds like his owner may have been using fentanyl, but Toodles is now being put up for adoption. Probably get a lot better home. And a deaf woman in the UK has a 2-year-old cat named Zeeby, who alerted her when her phone rings and there's a strange sound in the house. The cat doesn't have any formal training. The extra help is just a role he has taken. It's a big enough deal to make Zeeby one of the 12 finalists for National Cat Award of the Year. A seeing ear cat.
Monahans and
there you go. You try to train them. Right. Somebody to look up to. And last, Michigan State Dairy Center has started holding monthly cow petting events to help people de-stress. They started doing it for their teaching staff a few months ago, and it was so popular. Now it's open to the public. So, Michigan, there you go. Thanks for the good news story. Cow petting to de-stress yourself. There you go. That's your good news story of the day, brought to you by Farmers Insurance agent Herschel Rustin Hayes. What do you got for the text line to wrap us up, Tom?
And how do we donate to Kevin, says one of the texters.
Text Kevin, Kevin, to 877-396-9105, our text number, and it will send you directly to a link. And last but not least, I think I got to everybody. Yes, I did. Except I wanted to tell you about Platinum Auto Service because they're under new management with clean parking lot, getting customers back on the road, shorter wait times, faster service, brakes, tires, AC, service alignments, list leveling kits, details, and bumper grill guards, fuel cells. They do it all. Toolbox installation, off-road accessories, winches and skid plates. Fleets are welcome. Maintenance and diagnostics, scheduling maintenance services are offered. Just get out anything wrong with your truck, right down to the seat covers or floor mats. They can take care of it. And customer service for your daily driver, well, that's going to trick it out for the weekend. Make it something special. Finance is available. Stop by and see the friendly staff. Platinum Auto Service, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. You can call them in Carlsbad at 689-6900, 689-6900. That's it. Coming up, Tradio, where you're going to get to buy, sell, and trade on the radio. One last thing. What do you got? I see you reading.
All right. So how do you feel about Biden's mortgage plan? Maybe we'll answer that tomorrow.
There you go. That'd be a good start to start off with in the morning. Fox News coming up. Details your day. Tradio is going to follow. Tell you the truth. Why don't we go to local news first? Why don't we go to the right news? We'll do that. Local news update first. We'll buy, sell, and trade. Tradio coming up. That's being the Breakfast Club. We'll see you back in the morning.
Local news brought to you by M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump Services in Lovington, owned, operated, and serving the community for over 30 years. Call 575-390-4446.
Make M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump of Lovington your domestic well specialist. Owner-operated with 30-plus years of experience, specializing in complete water systems for new home construction, domestic well drilling, as well as replacement wells and servicing all makes and models of water systems, including variable speed drive and constant water pressure systems. Call M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump today at 575-390-4446. That's M&W Water Well Drilling and Pump. Hometown quality you can depend on.
MTD Radio News, I'm Jim Miller. Well, Christopher Adam Jensen Tanner, owner and president of Roswell Escrow Services, set to plead guilty tomorrow to wire fraud and engaging in monetary transaction and property derived from specified unlawful activity. Officials say Jensen Tanner, accused of using his position at the company to fraudulently direct funds for his personal benefit. Anyone who believes they are